Hey everybody, it's Aiden Powell. I'm pissed off because of this impeach Trump hashtag, which of course there is, because of fucking course there's Trump hashtag going on right now. A couple days ago, I was thinking about doing a stream on the Charlottesville shit that's been happening, but a little bit too pissed off. But hey, I'm exactly full of angry. Today, I have Perseus Gold, who is somebody that I pretty much met through Hard Bastard's channel, who is also like a fellow viewer, and who is an incredibly intelligent individual. We may have other people joining us to kind of just discuss what the fuck's going on with all of this shit involving the right and the left, the condemnation of the right and the condemnation of the left. Who is right? Who is wrong? Right? Of course, being a little bit of a... I will stop momentarily to note out any kind of super chats. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Austin. We're right on time. Anyway, thank you. Please plug your shit.
Oh, hi, yes. I'm Perseus Gold, and you can check me out at the same named channel, Perseus Gold, on YouTube here, and also on VidMe. I'm trying to grow there so that I can get verified on that platform. Obviously, due to the circumstances, I'm sure everyone who's following Aiden's aware of. Yeah, so would you care to introduce like what the episode and all that?
I was just a little bit irritated. So we have to go over the basic events, which is that we know the things that happened the other day in Charlottesville, which were terrible. The thing that gets brought up was terrible, which was a woman was killed. There was an unfortunate victim of a car attack. That's terrible, obviously fucking awful. But we have to look up at some of the events that were leading towards that. Now, I did not... I am pretty much right. Hey, Dave, hi. I also invited a couple other people into this. Dave, were you the guy on Twitter? I think. Oh, no, you didn't show up. Okay, you left and went back in. Whatever. He came and left. Whatever, that's fine. We'll keep going with it. I'm a conservative. Or a right-leaning person, so I'm pretty much cool with the right. What I saw in terms of the...
No, I didn't. I didn't want to echo into your ears.
If you want to shut it off, just click the mute microphone button while we're talking. Hey, Dave, and hey, Harrison? I don't know who. Yeah. I had like two different people who might have wanted to talk. Because I'm trying. Look, because if it's just me and Perseus, I think we're going to be a little bit echo chambery.
And that's fine. I mean, I might be similar to that because while I'm Canadian, which kind of sits me generally sitting on the left.
Well, so is Perseus,
I'm also military, so that's gonna skew me a little to the right.
Really, what branch?
Air Force.
Really?
I'm avionics technician.
I was Air Force too.
There we go. Yeah.
My audio sucks.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
My audio sucks. Hang on. Really, guys? Let me make sure that it's coming through the right audio thing. 1 second.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't really expect any Antifa or whatever screaming leftists to come on here and have a productive conversation anyways.
Well, I mean, like, I generally lean left, and that's what pisses me off the most about this entire thing, is that, like, I've basically voted left most of my life. I actually voted Trudeau, which is disturbing. I know, don't give me shit. I'm more pissed off than any of you right now. You shut your whore mouths.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, absolutely. What the problem is that we didn't have a good other choice at that point.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people that voted Trump at the time.
Genuine, like, you know, misappropriation scandal going on. So it's not like there wasn't corruption on their side too.
Like we had nothing but terrible choices where we're going right now. Like we could have voted NTP. They literally cut the firefighting budget by 70% out west, and like half the provinces burnt down. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, he said that whole fucking shit about like, oh, I'm so glad we have our diversity firefighters.
No, that wasn't Trudeau. That was the NDP.
Skiing.
That was we have three parties up here that are basically prevalent. So you have conservative, you have your liberals.
Explain your shit to me.
Okay, sorry. So we have conservative, which is basically your Republicans, right? We have liberal, which is basically your Democrats, and we have NDP, which is the New Democratic Party. They had one voted out there, and she was like, "Yeah, no, fuck that. We don't need all this money to firefighting." And then, like, one of the biggest industries out there at Fort Mac, right, like where they do tons and tons of fucking shit, just burnt to the fucking ground, along with all the surrounding area. So insurance companies just
okay.
fucking...
I had heard Trudeau was very excited about that.
Gun grab.
Oh yeah, no, we took selfies and shit. It was fucked.
And the RCMP went into people's houses and literally took their guns when the town was abandoned. That's another thing that happened that is not getting talked about.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a little bit fucked up. It was mostly
Same
because
thing happened with the Rouge River flood.
yeah, it was mostly because the same shit was happening there. That got little fucked up. The same thing was happening there. That remember when the dams let loose down south there, and people were trying to like rescue them with helicopters, and they were shooting the fucking helicopters from the roofs.
What the fuck? What happens up in America's hat?
No, that was down south. That was you fuckers. What the fuck is it?
Oh, I can tell you all about that. There are entire cities in my state, in West Virginia, that are we just let them go underwater because we built dams. I thought you were talking about America's hat, because nothing matters there.
The same thing happened in Canada that happened. That was starting to happen in Canada that happened down south. What the fuck was it? Where they're looting everything and they're fucking looting it in rafts.
Actually, I'm down here in Louisiana. I live about a couple hours away from Hurricane Katrina. Something they don't tell you on the news, for anyone who doesn't know, which you probably don't. The Coast Guard, I have a friend who's actually in the Coast Guard who had to respond to Hurricane Katrina. He was a rescue diver, right? They actually had to strap on heavy machine guns to their helicopters because the drug dealers left behind in the city were shooting at the helicopters trying to rescue them because they thought they were going to get arrested. So
we sent Chinooks down. We sent the twin fucking prop helicopters down there. We actually we responded to that quicker than a lot of the people in the States did from way the fuck up north. And they were getting shot at in helicopters trying to get people from the roofs like regular citizens.
My friend literally had to kill people with his machine gun.
Like, that's fucked. Like, what? You're on the roof of your house, man. What the fuck are you doing?
They're trying to protect their stash, man. They got a stash.
Protect your stash. That's true.
God damn it.
Truer words have never been spoken. But my Canadian friends here today to talk about your cucked country.
Oh God, my heart! Don't hurt me. Be gentle, woman. I
won't. I don't, because it would be sad. Your country is run by a ski instructor. I am so sorry.
No. He's a fucking listen. Don't do that. He's a theater teacher.
He's a drama teacher.
Right. Yeah, I get it right. He's a fucking drama instructor. Fuck me.
What's being a ski instructor or a drama instructor?
And a boxer. He was also a boxer.
He was.
Boxer I can deal with. Drama.
I'm less pissed off about him than I am about Germany or Sweden, though, because at least he's a tiny bit alpha. Because at least the women are like, "Oh my God, I'll vote for him for his hair."
There's no excuses. There's no.
No. Hang on. Even Merkel, as terrible of an awful wench harpy as she is, I don't see her running around being like, "Oh, wrap me in a rainbow flag as I run through the streets of the gay pride parade." No, I don't even see Merkel being that bad.
I'm gonna fucking lay it down real quick though. You run around in our streets with your rainbow flag, probably not gonna get raped.
Here's where I disagree. I say Justin Trudeau is a
import some more migrants, and you'll fix that problem. You gotta get some more brown people in there, and then you too can be raped as you run through the streets.
Hey, I live in Nova Scotia, my dude. We have nothing but religion and racism here. We can't do that.
That's why. Okay,
I'll go to Quebec.
Need to move to Canada, move to Nova Scotia, because that's where Trailer Park Boys is from. So.
It is Halifax.
Wait, it's actually from Nova Scotia?
Yeah, I'm in Greenwood, yeah.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Actually, here's something that's interesting I found though. Speaking in Germany, there was something I read on Twitter where apparently there was some study they found where if they introduce certain drugs into the water, it'll make people less racist in Germany and more willing to accept migrants, they say.
Did you get that from Alex Jones? That sounds like Alex Jones.
Like freaking frog's gay, right?
No. Hang on. Alex was right about the frogs.
He was right about the frogs.
I know.
He was right about the frogs, and he's right about the fish. They actually are putting chemicals in the water that they don't make them trans. Which is functionally the same thing as making the frogs gay. So Alex Jones isn't wrong.
He just put it a funny
He's just not good at it.
I know, but I just thought
I love the way he talks. It's hilarious.
I just thought that was a creepy ass news story I wanted to share.
I gotta get back on point though, my dudes.
Okay.
For all these fucking Canucks in here. Jesus Christ, how did this happen?
Look, we just apologize for everything. We sincerely apologize.
Perfect. You better start apologizing for being in my stream right now because apparently I'm the only American. But like, listen, here's what you gotta talk about, guys. All a different opinion than our different sort of outlook than I would have. As being a American, God bless America, I fly my flags outside. I've got my Gadsden flag behind me and my other Gadsden flag over here, my join or die flag. I voted for Trump. I like Trump. I don't think he's the best president. I think he's doing a serviceable job. No, of course, because if you thought he was, you're an absurd person. But the problem is this impeach Trump shit. Now, yes, we know they've been doing this the entire time, and they wanted to impeach him since before he assumed office. Bullshit.
What bothers me most about that is that they think impeach means Trump is not going to be there anymore. And even if they were right, you still get like if somehow impeachment no more Trump, they're getting Pence, which is way more like in disagreement with most of their shit.
No, not so much. Let me be clear about Pence a little bit too. There's a lot of memes about Pence saying,
I understand
Pence,
that
he wants to tase the gays. No, he doesn't.
I get it. I read it.
The thing he said about tasing the gays and whatever, he didn't say that. He said he offered up the electroshock therapy as a method of treating homosexuality. It doesn't work, by the way. Now, I will say this, and I'll say this as someone who is highly educated in psychology. Sometimes tasing people, giving electroshock therapy or electroconvulsive therapy, does help with severe depression. We're not finding that same thing with gayness.
Doesn't this fuck with anything to do with neural pathways? That's what I thought.
We don't understand why. We have no understanding as to why it works. We just know that it does. People who have really, really severe depression that isn't treatable by conventional methods of medication or therapy, and trust me, I've been in a mental hospital, motherfuckers. That's really horrible to see from having electroshock therapy. They're out, man. They're done. Couple for a day or two, but it does appear to have some sort of long-term positive outcomes. Not for gay people, we don't find that, but for depression, definitely. So we don't know for sure. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think being gay is actually a mental disorder. No. I think it's just a total restructure. It's a thing that's in your brain that's different, which is not a chemical disorder. Right? So I have bipolar, which means that I have a chemical disorder in my brain, which means that my brain doesn't do stuff quite right chemically. So I can use medication to help measure and equal out the brain chemistry. If gay people, I don't think it's a brain chemistry. I think it's a brain structure issue, in which case you can't restructure your brain. Thank you, Matt Fields, by the way. Gadsden, Moltier, and Old Glory. I love Trump. I love Trump, too. I don't have an Old Glory flag. I could probably fly one here, though. I could fly a whole bunch of flags where I live and not get in trouble. Yeah, I could probably be fine with that. But no, whatever. He's actually kind of a leaning conservative. He's more of a neocon than anything. I was a little bit ambivalent towards the Pence selection as the vice pres because I thought he was it's another neocon. And I like Pence, but he's not the gays guy that they try to scare them with. Now, I love scaring them. Please scare them. Please scare the left with the idea that he's going to put all the gays in camps because that'll keep them from
Don't scare the gays, though, goddammit. They make all of our best clothes. Come on.
Johnny Quest memes about Pence. Where,
I like the memes.
I like it, too.
They're great.
But at the same time, though, I honestly have no opinion about him as a person. He just seems like a career politician to me.
Same.
Oh, no.
Same.
Pence seems to be
Thank you, flamethrower.
I mean, I have a question, though. As an American, how is it that the right accepted Trump so heartily when, from the outside looking in, he has been a lifelong Democrat and most of his policies are Democratic? His newfound love for Jesus and all that is basically Hi, I'm a big giant Cheeto. I'm going to try to say some things. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I think the left went further left than him. I mean, now he's what's considered right based on the shifting Overton window.
Yeah,
Perseus is completely correct. So the Overton window has shifted, but also in terms of, I don't see a lot of from Trump. He has been pretty sparse on the Jesus love, because I'm not a Christian. Here and there. No, but here's the thing. So this is the naughty bits. Is that I'm an Odinist, an Aesotrue. I am. I would definitely be considered a Nazi by most people because of my. Now I became an Aesotrue 4 or 5 years ago. Before this was a thing that was like, oh, everybody who does this is a Nazi. Now there were Nazis in it back then, and I don't have. Here's the fucking thing. I don't have an inherent fucking issue with people who are white nationalists at all. Actually, I think that some of them have rational and reasonable. I don't agree with them because I'm a civnat and do those points though. But every time I've ever talked or spoken with or had a discussion with a white nationalist, we've been able to have a legitimate conversation. Very rarely. Today I was talking. Today,
one way or another, you're going to have to address what the white nationalists want, and I think that's something a lot of people are going to have to get over. But as far as their actual methodology, they're not asking for anything that no other group hasn't asked for and already received.
Absolutely.
Withholding it from them at this point is literally just targeting them explicitly, and that only plays into their narrative.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think white nationalists that they're perpetrating in the media are actually white nationalists. They're just people that are tired of people hearing "fuck white people, fuck white men, you do this, you've done that." Like, half of these people wouldn't be considered white nationalists. They're just like, holy fuck, I'm tired of hearing that. Like, what I've born as is fucking like causing the fucking strife of everybody else in this world that is literally pandered to by most politicians.
Sorry if my audio is fucked, guys. I made sure it's going through the right mic, so I don't know what's happening. But
in and out.
Does it sound like you guys? It's cutting in. Maybe let me.
I mean, the way I see it, the reason why like Trump was accepted by the right is because of what you mentioned just recently, where it's like, oh, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're a bigot. Basically, the way I see it, Trump is the culmination of the past couple of years of the radical left, and it's called the politics of go fuck yourself. Basically, a vote for Trump is a vote for go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
that's the reason why he was elected, really.
In many ways, it was because the left had become they'd become cocky. They just thought, we won. We don't have to pay attention to you anymore. We can pretend as if anybody who doesn't agree with us doesn't exist. Not wise. That was not wise, and that was the entire basis of Hillary Clinton's campaign in many ways, of just like, oh, they don't exist. There is no way anyone who doesn't agree with me even is alive.
It's her now.
Trudeau won the same way. Like, they were just so pissed off at fucking Harper. They were like, anybody but Harper, just vote. And they were having like strategic voting patterns to get rid of him. And then they had him for 2 years, and they're like, holy fucking shit. He's not doing a good job.
Is there a term for what I'm thinking of here in media psychology or psychology in general?
Let me know. This is my shit, man.
Okay. So basically, is there terminology that more or less... fuck, I'm starting to lose the idea already. Okay, I'm sorry. Somebody else start talking.
Hang on.
I lost my train of thought there.
You mean like, are there words or phrases that reinforce people's deep-seated beliefs, or like, what are you kind of going for there?
Hang on. Let's give him a second. We'll move back onto something else, because I think he's probably usually got a good idea. I like Perseus, and I know he's usually got very good ideas. So let me give him a second to formulate his shit. Instead, let me get back to Trump then. In terms of this entire thing with Charlottesville, let's just move on while we let Perseus formulate his thoughts together. Okay. Because Trump came out and actually denounced, the KKK. He denounced the racists. And as far as I could tell, there was one fucking guy with a Nazi flag there. Now, I talked about this.
There was a couple.
I saw one one Nazi flag. I saw lots of Confederate flags, but one Nazi flag.
There were
Now,
a
I could
couple
be
of-
wrong.
on my Twitter. There was a picture on Twitter that I seen with like 3 guys running around Nazi flags. But then there was also 3 or 4 guys running around
That picture could have
fucking
been taken in any
communist
city.
Commie
flags.
flags.
That
They had the
picture could have
Yeah.
been taken in any city, and then they could have just said it was from there.
No. Like,
Exactly.
I could see the setting.
I'm just very, very TM skeptical about that. Now, I'm not saying I would never deign to say that there are not Nazis. I talk to Nazis, people who are self-admitted Nazis.
You mean
Thing to
LARPers?
me.
LARPers. They're
No,
not actually.
some of them legitimately are. Some of them are LARPers, some of them are legitimate neo-Nazis. But let me tell you this thing, which is bizarre to me, because if I could look at like 12-year-old Aiden and be like, Aiden, in 25 years, you're going to talk to a Nazi and they're going to be more agreeable and more willing to have a rational conversation with you. Bill Clinton, I guess he wouldn't have been the president at the time when I was 12. It would have. Oh, he might have been 12. No, it would have a couple years before that. But like then somebody who supports Bill Clinton. How astounding is that? That absolutely blows my mind. The fact that I have a very difficult time. So like I had a conversation on Twitter today with Asterios Kokonos, and I love Asterios. I do. I talked to him on the Dick Show, but he was just insane strawman arguments, and it's like, can you please have real arguments with me, have a real discussion if you want to talk about something, and not just be like, oh, okay, so you're saying everybody wants to die, you want to kill everybody and all this shit.
Jake Alaska gets like that too, though. He'll get
No, I
wound up
know.
and be like, "It's the fucking Jews! It's always the Jews!" And you're like, "No, calm
So
down.
was he
It's not the
permanently
Jews."
blinded, or was that just like a temporary blindness?
I don't think we're sure yet.
We don't know yet. By the way, thank you so much, Jables Boogly. There were people with swastika tats there too. Yeah, I know there were.
It's fucked.
But this is the whole fucking issue: is that those people are now the guy who is a complete piece of shit. Everyone should and say you're an asshole.
Well, I just want to
But-
say something though. In terms
Go
of the class composition of a lot of the people there, I do know that certain members of the alt-right are more upper class than others. But as far as white people who've at all been to prison before, you're going to have a lot with kind of white nationalist tattoos, even if that's not necessarily the politics they harbored.
In the States, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, no disagreement. Actually, funny story about white nationalists being polite and kind of rational and weird to talk to. My friend did an interview down here in Louisiana with David Duke, where he was filming because David Duke was rerunning for Congress last year. So my friend, who's a film guy, he got paid like $900 to shoot his commercial. And I'm Asian, so I asked my friend, say, hey, when you meet David Duke, ask him what he thinks about Asians. And as it turns out, at least according to my friend, David Duke doesn't actually have a problem with Asians.
Why
Don't
would
know
he?
why.
He knows you're more intelligent than we are on average, than white people. Thank you, Pizza Wolf. I agree with Red Skull now. The fucking Red Skull, that's fucked up. And then also Tiberius Gracchus, I'm black. I'll end myself now. Thank you for the. Sorry, guys. That does sometimes. Thank you though for the super chats and sorry when I interrupt this a little bit, but no, here's the thing. I find it, how weird is that? Like I'm saying, I'm talking to myself as a little child. How weird is it going to be that like when you grow up, Nazis are going to be the ones that you're going to find more agreeable as people, people who actually are either supportive of the KKK or of National Socialism. I would never have imagined that even 10 years ago.
Are you finding them more agreeable, or are you just finding them more reasonable to talk to? Because
more reasonable to talk to.
Exactly, because
different from
what they're saying is not agreeable. What they're saying is they're
dichotomy.
They're silver-tongued. You know what I mean? Right now, because they know they're on the fringe of society right now, so they're talking to you in a way that like, hey, look, I'm not that terrible. I just happen to have certain beliefs, and that's covered in free speech, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't agree with the idea of the horseshoe theory, but the people that I see who are committing the most amount of violence are the left.
Okay, so the horseshoe theory I don't think is valid. I think that fascism is its own third position. And what I have to say about this is that the reason why it's beaten into your heads through the media and through school that fascism is bad is because fascism is ultimately the natural ruling state preferable by the middle class. And the reason for this is that Fascism, unlike, say, socialism or capitalism, which internalizes class struggle, fascism externalizes it. And if you were to refer to this in like an ancient period, you would be calling this a timocracy, okay? And the idea is that you can simultaneously enrich your entire nation to varying degrees through acquiring wealth through conquest as opposed to redistributing it within your own society. Now, if you're trying to have some sort of global oligarchy, you're going to want a type of stability where there are no nations like this behaving in it. So at all costs, regardless of what other strain of ideology it is, they beat into the minds of their people that fascism is automatically bad, don't even look into it, because a lot of the economic policies of fascism directly benefit the middle class and prevent class struggle from consuming a society internally. But because the globalists wanted the Western countries weak, what they ended up doing, I think, is encouraging this type of, I guess there's no really way of putting it other than just like a rot or a weakness.
I can get that, but what do you mean by when you're saying middle class right now? Because just looking up, like I just looked up a chart the other day, if you're a single person, no dependents right now, the middle class for Canada, for lower middle class is $24,000 to $30,000, and the upper middle class is like $74,000.
We have to totally redefine this. You have to understand that over the course of the last 60 years, what defines the middle class has been completely redefined and changed. Okay. On a fundamental level. In 1960, what defined the middle class was about a $10,000 difference per year. The middle class is about $26,000 average of for a family, and the upper middle class, people who were like almost the nouveau riche, were like $30,000 to $40,000 a year. It was a very, very small differentiation. What happened is that over these last 60 years, essentially we created this new mental intellectual class that is completely indistinct from the middle class. What we have actually created is a complete dichotomy between the low class and the upper class. And what communist systems seek to do ultimately is to create an extreme upper echelon class of the 0.001% class percent. Yep. And sort of seen a lot of our shit moving towards that incredible disparity.
No, I understand.
This
that.
is not the
what I was asking for a definition, I guess, is when people are talking about the middle class, because I hear that a lot, especially from the extreme left right now. It's like, oh, the middle class is the cause of all our problems. And I'm like, okay, but you are making as much as a lower middle class person right now in this country at $24,000 to $30,000 a year, whereas I'm making about $74,000, $75,000 a year right now, and I'm upper middle class.
You're working in an intellectual field, I'm imagining, right? You do something that is mostly involved with your brain, not with physical labor, correct?
Maybe avionics tech, so it's a little physical sometimes, but mostly it's just electronics, right? Like electronics and systems work.
Okay, this is and I know that I have these fucking gnats in my apartment. It makes me so angry. But if you read Charles Murray, it doesn't work, man. Everyone says that. Ugh.
You gotta get bigger holes in that shit, man. You're fucking it up.
But no, this is a major fucking issue, though, my dude. Like, there is a difference that is occurring, and that has been occurring over time, and it's the whole purpose of moving everybody towards this lower and lower class by forcing them into debt, by forcing them the people who become the upper echelon intellectual class are separated from everybody else. It becomes the ultra upper class, and everyone else is a lower class. Is exactly what you saw in communist Russia. The laborer is going to be basically put into this gigantic class of 90% of the population at a very minimum 90%.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was asking, because when people blame the middle class for all the problems, the middle class is most of everybody.
Middle class doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, like if you're lower class, you're on welfare here. Like
there is no more middle class in this country. Yeah. We've completely destroyed it.
Like, if you're calling me upper middle class, it's only because I don't have any dependents. You know what I mean?
I would also be considered upper middle. No, actually, I'd probably be considered lower class.
What would you say about someone whose income isn't that high, but they have no debts or liabilities?
Yeah, I mean, that makes a huge deal.
Better off than most people.
I went to
'Cause
Kuwait.
that's the kind of position where I'm in, where my income isn't that great. I have less than like 20K a year, but I have absolutely no outstanding debt, which is something that almost no one else I know has.
That's a ridiculous difference. I went to Kuwait and paid off all my debt. I came back and I have like a crazy amount of spending money just by not having to pay into like compound interest and shit.
Let me real quick assess or address some of the super chats. Quebec started out a Lib Dem. Now I'm on the alt-right. What the fuck? I should never have started paying attention to politics. That's the problem. That'll always drive you right, I find.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jables Boogly, guys, slow down, talking fast and fast rebuttals leads to an adrenaline rush and heated arguments. Yes, that's probably good for all of us. Although I don't know how heated we're getting. I think this has actually been really constructive. We've gotten totally. That's fine. That's how these discussions work, and I'm fine with that too. I'm not a what would you call it, moderator. So if this shit gets off, cool with
I
me.
want to ask some of the other guys here. So my stance on this issue, and I think that I don't know what the overlap's going to be on this, but what do you think about, should we be securing our own liberty at the expense of the freedom of those who would seek to undermine our own liberty? Or should it really just be, freedom of speech at all costs, everyone has the rights to express their own political ideology, we can't outlaw cultural Marxism from society legally? Or do you think that we should be doing that?
It depends on what you're talking about. I think academia really needs to be regulated at this point. It needs to have some kind of standard put into place. The same way fucking high schools are, where they have standardized testing. I think academia has gone so far off the rails right now that it's indoctrinating people.
I see what you mean, but at the same time, is getting the state into academia a really good idea?
Well, no,
It's
already the problem.
This is my entire issue with academia, is that the state is too much involved in it. It's involved in it on every single level. I don't actually even really believe in the idea of forcing people to have to go to a government-run school, because it's not helping. And by the way, when we force students to go into these, you have to all pass these standardized tests, it doesn't help, because we want to make all the students equal. That doesn't help. I got into this argument today, and it really starts to rack my brain of having to try to talk to people about what's the difference between an average and an aggregate, and what is the purpose and utilization of statistical averages versus what is an individual and what is an individual score. For example,
so explain that like I'm 5, because when I see it here, I'll see a university that STU or UNB, and they have certain standards, and I'll see a school like Mount Allison that had it was a pretty decently recognized school that had to literally drop a lot of its feminist courses because it was dropping world rankings.
Yeah, sure.
Whereas a provincial standard could have fixed that. And it could just because there's less provinces and states, and I mean, Canada is a different fucking story. But explain like 1.5 how that's not going to help somewhere like here, because I really don't understand why that wouldn't help.
I'll do 2 things. One, Tiberius Gracchus super chat. I'm sorry about my mic. I'll try to move it a little bit. People said it was too quiet, and now it's too loud, so we'll move it a little bit away from my face. Thank you, though, for the super chat. And then, again, we had the Arabian babe. Aiden, my dude, it's more than just wealth that defines class. Absolutely. From clothing to speech and upbringing, not to mention debts and area in which you live. Also tell Layman that he's a cuck for defending traps. Where the fuck do you think you are? This is the trap channel. I'm on board with my boy Layman. We absolutely both think that traps aren't gay. In terms, though, of the... were you asking specifically about a Q, or were you asking about?
No, I wasn't asking about a Q. I was asking why some kind of a standard, or what's like. I'm not talking about maybe not necessarily standardized testing, but maybe okay, so I'll give you an example. In the military, we had sit-ins every once in a while. We're doing courses to make sure that a minimum standard is held. If you go above that standard, it's fine, but as long as you don't go below that standard, and it helps to get rid of ideology from a classroom. Because you have to teach a minimum standard to something without putting your own opinion to it. I'm wondering why that wouldn't help in academia right now. Because right now, if you go to classes, I wish I had my phone charged, because I have friends that are like, well, right now that capitalism is destroying the free world. How do you think we could make a better system? It's like, what the fuck? This is a 3rd-year course. Capitalism is destroying the fucking world. Are you insane?
Okay.
That's a matter of matter rather than standards or anything. Like in math class, no matter where you go, an A is an A in calculus. You know, you can't really talk about socialism or postmodern Marxist cultural colonial whatever the fuck lesbian dance theory in like calculus. You know, like in the military, if you're in the Air Force, I assume you're like a IT maintenance. What were you?
I'm a specialist trade. I'm avionics.
Okay, avionics. So yeah, there is of course an objective standard there. It either works or it doesn't.
Yep.
But there's not. Admittedly, there's not much you can do for that in something like history. You know.
There's only a certain amount of things that we can do for stuff like that. My fear isn't that, and my concern isn't that we try to make all students equivalent and equal. That is a very, in my mindset, liberal outlook, which is to say, like, oh, what we need, everyone's equal, everyone's the same. Oh, everyone should be treated equally, but it doesn't mean that everyone is equal. That's kind of a problem. People are inherently disparate. People will never be the same thing. For all of the virtue signaling and bullshit the left likes to do about, oh, I'm a special snowflake and you're a special snowflake. Guess what? Yeah, you kind of are a special snowflake. You're never going to be exactly the same as anybody else. What we can use instead are aggregates and averages, statistical averages, in order to form a point and a sort of a visual model of what the population looks like. That's all we can do. Outside of that, it would be absurd. But what I find very ridiculous, and this is the futility in the United States education system and any education system, but particularly in a country like the United States that is as non-homogeneous and as disparate as we are, which is to say, like, hey, everybody should have an IQ of 100. Everybody should have this kind of level of intelligence. Everyone should meet this sort of level of GPA. No, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen at all. And to try and say that it should is an absurdity. It's an absolute impossibility. It's just not going to happen.
But couldn't we work on a minimum standard?
Free men will never
like a low minimum standard. You don't have to push to the median. You can push to like 2 standard deviations below the median or something.
We're not even pushing for okay, fine. If you want to say, but that's where we're at though. If you're saying push between 2 standard deviations, we are pushing right now within 1 standard deviation. We have always been pushing within 1 standard deviation. You have to understand the standard deviation, a standard deviation for the mean of IQ, and a standard deviation for the mean of IQ in the United States is 85 to 100. That's a negative standard deviation. A positive standard deviation is between 100 and 115. So, okay, thank you. Good. Understand that 70% of the population of this country is within 1 standard deviation, or 2 standard deviations, either positive or negative, overall 1 standard deviation in either direction from the mean. What are we trying to do outside of that? That's 70% of the population. Outside of that, you're trying to talk about mutants, and I'm a mutant from that.
You mean you're never ever going to get tested for autism again because they didn't do it when we were kids the way they do it now?
If I was tested for autism today, I would be autistic.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if I were doing it when I was young, I'd also be autistic.
I have too many obsessions with objects. I was way too into Thomas the Tank Engine, and it would just not have worked out well.
That might have been Ringo Starr's fault, though.
It might have been. Let me check the super chat real quick because I know we got a couple that I missed. Arabian Babe, wow, okay, so you're going to tell me traps ain't gay. How about you take another 5 and prove dollars, aka pounds, and get cucked? This is all the money I have. Well, thank you for the dollary dues or poundery dues, I guess. Traps ain't gay. It depends. I mean, are you fucking the man? A man with a penis, or the lady with a penis? And I mean, this is a different question than are traps gay. If you find a very attractive woman attractive, is that what we're talking about by trap? Because that's not gay. That's just you finding a woman attractive. She just happens to have a feminine penis. Pizza Wolf says, capitalism is responsible for everything good in our lives. Anyone who says otherwise is a fucking cuck. Thank you so much for your super chat. Quebec. Are skeptics TM part of the problem? They employ critical theory tactics to undermine society's values. Skeptics tend to be centrists. Don't want to name names. I've been trying very hard not to do that.
Shall I?
Sure.
Don't do it.
Who wants to be? Who wants to, no. I'll name Marvin Skeptic. I'll name Greg every day. He's absolutely, because everyone else is naming him. Have you seen his fucking videos? He just cites shit without any fucking support behind it. He's just like, here's the thing I believe, and
I think Greg is very well educated in the things that he originally talked about. And then he decided
like that the Earth isn't flat.
I think like because he was so religious growing up, I think he was very well educated in debunking religion. Because if you grow up in that environment, you're very easily able to shit all over it.
So is Hard Bastard.
Wow, hero of the Imperium, eh?
Tiberius Gracchus, Aiden, promise me you'll protect Sargon's traps. Also love your work. Makes me consider as my livelihood. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. Traps aren't gay. If you don't know before penetration. Well, if you've gotten that far, again, as long as the balls don't touch, you're fine.
God damn it.
God damn it.
I don't dislike Greg, by the way. I just think that he's okay, here's my thing.
Do you have a Jeff opinion on this? Like, Jeff is like, I really like Greg as a human being. I just really think I wish he would read shit before he talks.
I wish Jeff would do any research on the shit he talks about.
Oh, really?
The video I just put out was pretty much directly addressed at Jeff.
Oh, no, I don't know if I've seen it.
The video on understanding the bell curve, it was pretty much indirectly directed
maybe
at
I didn't see Jeff. Maybe I didn't see Jeff's video.
Jeff Holiday and some black guy. Because come on, guys, what the fuck are you doing? You don't understand.
I hit Jeff's
You're
videos
gonna
up
try to act like you got any fucking clue what the hell you're talking about. And it's, you know what? It's fine. It's fine if you want to make your videos, but you guys gotta understand some shit. I'm getting so at trying. I really don't want to seem like an autistic person, but the fact of the matter is, okay, it's kind of my thing. We're like, I don't understand anything about a bell curve or a normal distribution. Here is why race doesn't exist. Hang on. You are so wrong. You are so wrong on every fucking level.
This is the thing that really just gets me about the rationalist skeptics. And it's kind of the same thing that pisses me off about mainstream archaeology, but they need that institutional consensus-driven recognition for what they want to cite. And even if you bring up the issue of bias in the actual academic setting, where it's like, well, no, a study that would look into this issue would never actually get carried out and actually get the funding in the environment today. So when you bring up the fact that there's not enough studies supporting your side, and you say, well, look, the other side has complete control of academia. If someone tried to even propose this research, they'd lose their job. They don't want to accept that as part of the equation.
Well, yeah.
Do you understand how incredibly insane that is? The fact that right now, like, even if I look at the most frequently and most currently published information on, for example, IQ and race, every single study that gets published, I'll tell you this right now because I can read this shit and I have read it. It says this. It says, like, well, here we find the exact same thing we found 30 years ago, which is that, by the way, when we did start to improve the economy and the environmental livelihood of Black people in the United States, it did improve their IQ. And then it leveled off. And then it just kind of flatlined. And it's maintained the way it has been since then, just as it has with white people. It's pretty much just maintained and flatlined since about 1975. That's been the reality. And the reality is also that it has to do with influence, which is that, yes, influence of the environment on your IQ does play a role up until about the age 10. After age 10, your hereditary disposition has more of an influence on your long-term IQ than does your environment. Even if you were adopted, it doesn't matter. Your IQ is more determinant on your genetics than it is on your environment. Now, environment does play a role, but it diminishes, okay? What I find very upsetting about this is that I feel like I have to put all of these hedges on everything I say, even though everything I'm saying is just definitive statistics, because I know that someone's going to take it out of context and be like, oh, you're a racist, oh, you hate Black people. It's like, no. Do you know who I like the most as a gay woman or a bisexual woman? I love Black ladies. I find Black women very attractive. I'm not a racist, for fuck's sake. And you know what? Stormfront's never going to accept me because, one, I'm a gay. Two, I like black women. Like, that's never going to be a thing that's going to bring me any fucking fans on either side. So, fuck off. I just don't give a shit. I'm just a statistician.
God damn it.
The joys of being a social scientist, right?
I guess
man.
so. What the fuck?
That was like a million caveats to one statement. Holy shit.
I have to because
Holy
what
fuck.
would happen if I didn't do that? If I did not do that, and it'll probably still happen if somebody brings this shit up. If this, it'll be like some black guy or Jeff Holiday will be like, well, I saw on a stream that Aiden says she hates black people or black people are lesser or something like that.
I don't know that Jeff would do that.
Honestly,
Jeff does seem to watch a stream or watch a video most of the time.
No, I think it would happen. I think it would happen that I'm a racist or something like that, and I just don't give a shit. I think their time is over. If you can't, here's the thing: we are real done with this baby time shit. With this, like, oh, we'll be milk toast, and we'll just make fun of feminists because they're really easy to fucking mock. No, that's not where we're at anymore. We are now at. We need to play real political talk. We can't talk children.
No, this is actually at the point where we need to start making sure each other's children marry each other at this point of the social movement.
Oh, God damn it.
But
Nope.
I don't have a role in that either. I'm very Nero-esque, playing the fiddle as the shit burns.
Yep.
I don't have any role in anything. I can't reproduce. I'm playing my fiddle on the rooftops, motherfuckers. Thank you. Speaking of which, flamethrower. If racism is perhaps true, this still doesn't mean people can't succeed. Just means more difficult challenge. Absolutely. I've never said anything to the contrast. Actually, that's exactly what I've said. Is that there's nothing about race that precludes you or can't succeed. If you're black, doesn't mean that you can't have an IQ of 160. Just as if you're Asian, it doesn't mean you can't have an IQ of 50. There's nothing about that. That's not how the normal curve works. These are mere averages.
Dude, I'm on course now. And I can tell you right now, there are at least 2 people on course that are infinitely more intelligent than me, that fuck up so much more than me because they skip steps and shit because they're so used to getting shit easy, and that's not how avionics works. Like, it's a difference in, like, you might have more innate, like, ability to absorb knowledge. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have the fucking discipline to fucking apply that, right? It's like everybody in the world right now has the combined knowledge of all humanity in their fucking phone. Doesn't mean you have the ability to apply that knowledge.
I think
people don't separate that the way they should.
Like, intelligence and success are interesting because I think that people who are more successful aren't necessarily the people who are the smartest so much as the least neurotic. Whereas people who are pretty smart and not neurotic tend to succeed pretty fucking well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I have a my IQ is again mutant tier, but I'm very neurotic. I have an extremely high social anxiety. And that doesn't make me very successful. I had to basically take years off of college because I couldn't deal with getting bullied at school. Because I got bullied really bad in graduate school. And if you didn't know that was a thing, oh boy, let me tell you, that's a real fucking thing.
In an arts field? How the fuck does that happen?
No, I'm a statistician in statistics.
Social science.
You get
it's only 3 here, mostly.
Yeah, you'll get to.
It's
I don't know how much I want to talk about it, but I will tell you this.
No, that's fine, man.
Basically, I had a girl in my field. I don't care about this stuff. I don't care about this. I'm gonna just see how far I can trick these people into giving me a degree. On the public face, and she would say that kind of stuff in our graduate office.
That's good.
Yeah, she would say it out loud, and then they would come in, the professors and our people who are, people who are in charge of us essentially, and she'd be like, "Oh, I love this. I love communication science. It's so fascinating."
Gross.
And I applied to join the PhD program. And I showed up the first day I had the opportunity to because I wanted to be in it so bad. not. She kept saying, I don't want to do anything with this. I only came to the master's degree program because I didn't know what to do with my life. I was like, I didn't know what to do. I don't have any kind of goal in my life, so I'm just going to stay here and get a master's degree.
Are you like 26 with 2 master's degrees, though?
Yeah. But
Fucking Christ.
they begged her because she was very, very, she had a very positive public face. But the person who didn't know what to do, so she went and got a master's degree program without ever having to apply to it. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, like, was she a role for the school, though? Is like, that was the idea, right?
No, she didn't apply for it. She didn't apply for it. She just got in because they liked her.
That's fucked.
I showed up the first day and I thought, oh, thank you, God. She's the one who's been bullying me for a year. She's finally going to be gone. And I show up the first day, and who's there? Oh, it's the girl who's been bullying you for a year.
Jesus, I have like half an arts degree. This is
apply.
bullshit. At least I don't have to pay for it.
And what started day one? Heard about how she's fucking this professor?
Jesus,
that's neat.
Christ.
Oh, totally lies, because I'm clearly way too awkward with that kind of shit. But got involved in that kind of garbage, and you know that's kind of part of the problem of a lot of this shit is that like that's the sort of person who gets rewarded. So she's gonna get her PhD before me because I took.
Okay, but
avoid her.
Okay, so from like a perspective from here, and keep in mind I like have half an arts degree. I only take the courses because the military will straight up pay for them, and I find it interesting. Which is probably what led me to your channel. Fucking, does that happen more like in the arts programs? Because like the barrier to entry at first at least is much lower. Because like I see engineering students and they want to kill themselves like 100% of the time.
Oh, I wanted to kill myself, but it's a little bit of a okay. Let me do the super chats real quick. Tiberius Gracchus, anybody in the stream, lobotomize me, please. Trust me, I wish I could. Caroline Stevenson, Trap Harem here. Good. I hope you have one. Arabian Babe. 1, I lied. I have money. I'm Arabian. What do you expect? 2, traps are gay. No, they're not. Being attracted to traps is not. Yes, you're correct about that. 3, why does it matter if race is related to IQ? It really doesn't. Point. Who gives a shit? It's just a predictive. It doesn't fucking matter. This is why I don't understand why anybody gives a fuck. It's like race is related to IQ. Not
for long-term planning purposes. If you're trying to predict a population's behavior over a period of time, it helps to know those statistics.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. It doesn't matter for an individual. What it does is exactly what Perseus just said, is that like if you're trying to plan a society over a long-term period, however, we do live in the United States, which is always going to be at least a biracial society, at which point I collect these data. To me, that's an absurd statement to say like, don't collect those data, they're naughty. That makes me want to fucking collect those data. You're talking about real psychological reactions right there. You should never not collect data.
Exactly. Like, why would you not want to know answers to things? Like,
I don't know. Is that autistic? I just want to know the answers to questions. I just want to know numbers.
That's normal because, like, if there's there might be a problem. Like, we might figure out 10 years from now there's an issue that's causing it.
Target the most autistic men with their abuse, and the reason is that the autistic men are barely cognizant of actual social standards as it is, and now there's all these changing rules every week. But the reason is that if everyone in society was autistic, that's what they're trying to prevent. Because then we'd ascend to a new tier of technological utopia beyond their petty worker squabbles.
Wait, what?
Well, no, the reason why SJWs target the most autistic people with their abuse, in my experience, like in terms of my own personal experience with this, is that because these autistic people are already behaving in a way that shows that they clearly do not grasp the regular social norms, let alone your new definitions every month social norms. Of course, the autistic people are going to be the ones who are going to be getting into a lot of shit with this. And on top of that, they're not going to understand what they're doing wrong because they can barely understand the regular social rules. And I just think that this is an active anti-intellectual component to the SJW constantly changing, like the eternal revolution of their social definitions. Due to the fact that it's the autistic people who are like the more rational people in society.
That's everything about their stuff is anti-rationality, anti-logic, and it's all about constantly changing terms, specifically so that people who think about things rationally and logically and have a difficult time adapting to insanity can't figure out what the fuck they're talking about, and myself included. By the way, thank you, Samurai Squirrel. Hey, Aiden, I'm also a mutant and also don't want children and want to laugh while Western Civ collapses dinner at 11. Sadly, I do want children. I just can't. Lena Len, finally, some rational discourse. Long day of being shut down because I'm a cis white male. Thank you all. Side note, by volume, traps are only 2.19% gay. I don't know how you came across that numerical value, but I appreciate it. I trust that you are a scientist.
I'd like to see the work on that figure.
Yeah, show your work. Kid Conjured chat, who's your top trap pick? Like, this is what happens. It's something about me. Like, I've fucking done this. Like, Layman, can I summon him through words? Because he's in part responsible for this.
3 times Beetlejuice, man.
Popog, would you rather, for the rest of your life, publish research with conclusions based on only A, feminist research, Chebyshev's inequalities? I don't know Chebyshev's inequalities. Does anyone know what it is? Let me Google it. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. God damn. You know more about statistics than I do then. Because most of what I do is like really stupid social science shit. Tiberius Gracchus, anybody want to have a drinking contest? I'll use alcohol. The first one to die is a trap. The left makes me want to do this shit. Well, I certainly get the first part. But no, like, there is fucked up shit in academia. It's like any other thing. Like, somebody who I know in my field in particular is basically going to get a PhD because she was very attractive and very persuasive. Not that I'm just very awkward. And so it doesn't work the same way. That's the whole thing.
I like the
Everyone thinks if you're like no, it's like if you're a hot woman, you can just like get away with everything.
Not necessarily.
Not if you're really autistic, you can't. Nah.
If you have GAD, you're fucked. If you have GAD, you're absolutely destroyed. But back to what Perseus is saying there about them fucking with the. I was trying to remember this fucker's name. I think it's like Matt Taylor, Tyler, the guy that wore like the fucking shirt that this chickie friend of his made, like the hot lady faces all over it.
Oh, the guy from the European
shit on a fucking asteroid, like the pinnacle of human being intelligence. And they fucking shamed him into like crying on national television.
Yeah, that was fucking awful. No.
Did you not see that?
No, yeah, that was pathetic. He shouldn't have caved to that. But I mean, with a government job,
he's autistic as shit. He
should have known his career might be over regardless, right? So
yeah, but like, if he's like on the Asperger's end of fucking autism, like he doesn't understand what he did wrong. He just thought he was doing something awesome and wearing a shirt that his friend made him, and like he was legitimately hurt by it. You could tell, like he wasn't just like caving because he was under pressure. He was like legitimately fucking broken up about this.
Well, yeah, and see that's the problem with it. I mean, because people are just being treated statistically, they don't have any time for the autistic people. But it's the autistic people your society has to make the most care in utilizing properly.
Yeah.
Like I think that's just now I don't know. Maybe this is just fringe theory, but I do think that. Different personality types within humanity do come down to an almost kind of not caste in like you're going to find them in every human settlement, but kind of like, yeah, basically caste society kind of into the biology. Because if you think about it, okay, when did we start having problems with serial killers? We started having problems with serial killers after just killing people as part of day-to-day society wasn't really an acceptable job anymore. Like you start to see that there had been outlets for these types of people previously, and as people become more domesticated in society, more and more groups of people who were outliers, who weren't necessarily scientifically categorized, are going to be coming into the fold. I think that's a big part of what the whole trans-trending thing is. I think that you have all of these outlier males who are trying to find niches, and the trans-trending is what the social pressures are pushing them towards. And I just think that more needs to be looked into this, at least from like, I think what are they calling it, epigenetics, like the mechanisms that selection operates through biologically. Like, I think that they need to. I think that we need to start looking more into that.
You're onto something because last I checked,
Well, hang on, my dude. We're hearing like crazy echo, I think.
Hold on.
I got headphones in, so
It's fine. I mean, aren't we all living inside our own heads?
Better now? Alright, well, last night you're onto something because, what was it? I think it was like anywhere from 50 to 60% of all NASA personnel, including most scientists and engineers, are actually somewhere on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum.
Well, that would make sense to me. Again, I think we've all said this, or several of us have said this, is that, like, at least for me, I know it 100%. If I had been born 10 years after I would have absolutely been considered autistic. All I did as a kid was play with Legos and trains. It would have been a real quick, you're autistic as fuck. I'm not saying that. Here's actually an issue with psychology, is that we go through these trends. Was a kid, I was not very active or hyperactive. You know who was? Kids who were normal kids.
Yeah, no.
With attention deficit disorder and ADHD. A lot of times, I don't want to call it. Sometimes we call this as med student syndrome or psychology student syndrome or psychiatry student syndrome, which is that, like, when you learn about a really weird thing, or when you start hearing about it all the time, it becomes more present in your mind. It's the funny thing is that psychologists really should understand about how presence of information changes how you interpret that information. But hey, it's not how it actually works in practice. What essentially happened is that, like, a lot of psychologists basically thought that, oh, hey, look, everybody's got this. I keep hearing about this ADHD thing. That must mean that everybody's got ADHD. The Arabian babe, the stream has confirmed it is time to gas the autists.
No.
So I have a transgender friend, and her way of thinking is fucked. I'm sure it is, because that person is probably very sad.
Don't gas the autists. Need them to go to Mars. I want to get off this fucking planet.
Me too. Hey, this is Mega Gamer 1988. Hey, Aiden, do you think there's an actual paradigm shift going on? Because I have been hearing from others that we are undergoing one. Oh, abso-fucking-lutely there is a paradigm shift going on. This is completely
about it, yeah.
It's changing it. Things changed with Trump, and things are continuing to change. And by the way, sorry guys if there's like noise in my background. I have to have the AC on, otherwise I will die of heat stroke.
Don't do it. I got a question though. What I noticed, that I just missed the wave on that one, is they got rid of a lot of standardized testing, and they got rid of, and they started just as the like ADD, ADHD thing started to kick in pretty hardcore. They started to reach like middle school as I was graduating.
Mm-hmm.
They started this whole like no child left behind bullshit. Oh, yes. You're failing? Oh, don't worry about it. We'll just push you through. It'll be great. It's like no, don't fucking push them through. You're fucking insane. What are you doing? This fucker can't read. He's in grade 6.
This is exactly what I was talking about, though. This is the exact same problem with the normal curve that I was referring to, is that the fact of the matter is that, hey, Asians are in general smarter than whites, and whites are in general smarter than blacks. So that means black people aren't capable of being geniuses. There's something about the normal curve that states that. The problem is that when you take the massively disparate normal curve and say, let's all require a normal answer for everybody, it's not going to work out right. Moreover, what's really insane is that we would require everybody to the same level of completion of what we consider to be normative measures of science in order to complete high school. No.
Like,
maybe they should just be on cars. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Guess what? By the way, you'll probably make more money, and you'll make more money faster if you just go and work on cars. And that's okay. That's okay. If that's what you want to do, you like cars, go work on cars. Do you like computers? By the way, you can go and figure out how to fix computers way faster if you go through a program that's designed for an occupational outcome rather than for a college outcome. Piss off!
So
why do we make kids do this shit? It doesn't help them at all.
I've never taken an SAT, obviously, but what I did notice when I took my SAT, not my SAT, my standardized testing, it was very, very easy comparative to my exams. So I didn't understand. Like, I'm still missing the point where that's terrible as a baseline. I did take honors courses, so that might just be me talking like shithead.
Well, no, I mean it's stupid. By the way, thank you, Lenolin. Average penis is 5.5 inches, radius of 0.75, 9.72 cubic inches, average adult being 154 pounds. By gravity is 9.81 ms. Is that meters? What?
Meters a second.
Mass is 7.14 kilograms. Density per wiki is 985 kilograms cubed. So volume is 0.007252. By the way, my friend, you never, ever, ever to that many decimal points. That's a great big no-no. You should have just done 0.01. Anyway, penis being oh wait, maybe in this case, if the penis is this tiny, penis being 0.000159, so penis is 2.19%, so 2.19% gay. Don't know if I agree with your numbers there.
Why are we looking at the gravity? The gravity that something has on your penis?
I think he's looking at how much gay you are if your dick is in a trap.
Like, dude, you get this much positive blood vessel
based on
force?
The weight, based on the weight of your dick.
The mass of the penis is the percentage of gayness.
I'm sorry.
How did this happen? How did we get here?
I don't know if I agree with these numbers.
I'm sorry, your audio is cutting in and out a little bit, so I just heard numbers. I heard penis, I heard mass, volume, and I used to be an astro engineering student before I switched to psych, but there was a reason why I switched to psych. It's because
it's easier, isn't it? It's easier. Thank you. Yeah. Also, Emma's there's a lot of spectrum in engineering, and dude, Guy McPants. Also, thank you guys both. My psych is easier.
There's also a lot of abuse in terrorism and engineering, believe it or not. Actually, they found, I mean, this is a little aside, sorry to interrupt, but they found that if you're an engineering student or an engineering graduate, there is a far, far more likely chance that you're going to become a terrorist than if you're a technologist or something.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that, but the thing is, like, people think, this is also a very frustrating thing, is that people think that those of us in social psych, I'll tell you why I can't summon Layman. It's like fucking 4 a.m. in Germany. Otherwise, I'd really try hard to summon him here. But there's this anticipation that everybody who's in a social science field is that we're all just sitting around basically just in a big circle on plastic chairs, sucking our own dicks.
No, that's feminist degree.
It's gender studies.
Those are feminist. That's a feminist degree. Social science people who do that, but it's not all social science. It's hashtag not all.
I thought you guys were just making Coca-Cola ads and shit. Come on now.
Well, you know what? We get paid a lot of fucking money.
Exactly.
We get paid the big dollary dues.
Except for that Pepsi one. That one probably didn't make a shitload of money.
No, those people got fired. Is what they got probably.
HB is on vacation. That's why he's not here. Anyway, where the fuck were we at?
I don't remember. I remember there was like, we're talking about the gravity of dick.
Talking about the gravity of... See, this is the problem, is that I have to blame Dr. Liz. I mean, I also encouraged it, of the... let me talk about why traps... Because I've talked about the science behind why traps aren't gay. Because, well, if you're attracted to a person who looks like a lady and she happens to have a penis, it actually makes you, as a male, more likely to be attracted to her. Because there are two symbological pieces that encourage arousal. But...
Why is one of them feet? That's so weird.
Feet's one of them. I don't know why. feet.
That's fucking bizarre to me.
Why do you think they keep
Probably
buying?
having to do
It's
with
got
the
something to do with it, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Evolution.
YouTube is gay. I just read an article. White nationalists plan yet another brawl in Berkeley. Oh, they're planning another brawl in Berkeley. Well, we're always trying to do that, aren't we? We're always the ones starting that shit.
Thing. Now, I don't have a foot fetish, but I think I understand from an evolutionary psychology.
Oh, please
why it
do.
exists. And the
Because
reason
I don't.
I think it is that, well, why would you want to have a mate who, if you're part of a nomadic hunter-gatherer society, is going to get left behind in 2 months based on their fucked up feet?
But what if
Whereas,
they have really
if their
good
feet are actually viable, then they're not going to be left behind.
Wouldn't big feet be good for running though? This is
I don't
one
know,
of
it
the
just
things I
depends.
don't understand. Yeah, it must have some. Here's the thing. I'll actually quote a thing from my new video in a second. But anyway, YouTube is gay. Finished to say gangs have PR firms and are being advertised as pro wrestling heels. Pizza Wolf said, speaking of which, when are we going to talk about mead? We can talk about mead anytime. I love mead. I haven't made any in a couple months.
I had honey mead on the weekend.
Honey mead is excellent. It
Fucking
is
delicious.
very fun to
From
make
Kepler-
and to
from
drink.
Kepler-Vic.
Find my bit about evolution in my most recent video. It's only 7,000 words, so it's not like it's hard to find.
Evolution is a strange, strange mistress.
It is difficult, though, to sometimes describe to people, like, when the fuck you're talking about this. They think you're being racist or something. It's like, no, hang on. Evolution is evolution. It's, oh, wait, I know where it is now. I think I do. Yeah. A preemptive
Antifa versus
little
alt-right
bit of- you guys go
Pokemon
ahead, 'cause
Stadium
I gotta find this.
2017.
I'm gonna find this.
PC Gamer Squid. Antifa versus alt-right Pokemon Stadium 2017.
Have you guys actually seen the articles going around recently that said evolutionary psychology is like one of the symptoms of problematic, like, male patriarchy?
Oh, it's awful, I'm sure.
There was one too recently, but scientific fact isn't actually fact or something.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Psychology is just so true, though. I mean, there's no argument against it. It's verifiably provable. Like, you can establish in a controlled experiment that it works.
Well, they were talking about evolutionary psychology in particular.
It's just
Other things like that. I don't know. It's just, for the party that says they're of science, they're also the ones positing that chicks can have dicks, dudes can have periods, and that, like, psychology and evolutionary psychology and, like, physics is, like, patriarch. I don't know.
No, I'll go ahead and read.
The problem with patriarchy is it's clearly the best way to organize the society, and they just can't get
Sure
over
is.
it. That's the problem.
But why is
Yeah,
that an
yeah.
issue, though? It doesn't bother me as a woman. It doesn't bother me the fact that men are better at certain things. That doesn't make me upset. Why would it, if you're a strong woman and you understand things about yourself, why would it make you upset to know that men are better at certain things?
Well,
Benny Farmer, by the way, would you guys support an independent colony out in the Pacific like the one from childhood's end, just to get away from all this madness? They've tried that. Libertarian groups that I know of, at least, have tried that. It never works out. They've tried it, and I'm fully in support of trying it. Thank you, Zyklon Butterfly and Arabian Babe. Shout out to the comic guy from a couple streams ago. I have a cosplayer mom in my comic. I don't think he would probably, I mean, it might be interesting, probably not attractive, but maybe interesting from a visual standpoint. I would say this, though. So here's what I said about all of this bullshit. Oh, do you guys want to get in there real quick about what I just said?
I don't think that look, without any kind of diversity of thought, I don't think any kind of colony or anywhere is going to work out. It
Tried. Doesn't work.
Yeah, it's very much Matrix-esque, right? Like, if everything's perfect, people just fucking break down and they start fucking picking at each other for the stupid bullshit. You're always going to get people like that. Like, they're
Oh yeah,
fucking
no,
broken.
it's more people. We talk about these little tiny micro libertarian societies, they just don't work out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say though, because I know somebody brought it up. So, for example, I'm not speaking about Demarais. Is that his name? The guy, the Google guy.
The more
Here, but rather Demore, but rather chaplain upon his quite liberally oriented memo. We find that African Americans are often quite taller and have longer legs than Caucasian Americans. In part, for this reason, they are more likely to excel at some athletic activities, such as basketball. Does anyone complain that the NBA is comprised of about 85 to 95% of African Americans? Well, where's the outrage there? Oh, there is none? Being talented in physical activities is, of course, completely unrelated to being talented in intellectual activities. So before you make some kind of outrageous assertion that I just said black people can only be into sports, go fuck yourself, because it's not what I said. Then I would suggest you go watch my video that starts an introduction to descriptive statistics and the normal curve. What I'm asking here, and what these screeching harpies making BuzzFeed-esque videos about the lack of James Demore's memo is that where is the lack of Asian men in the NBA? Asians are a minority and needed defending when you feel like it, right? So where are all of the Asians? Isn't that racist? The other day I was driving through downtown Baltimore City through one of the shittiest, most crime-riddled areas of town when it was a balmy 95 degrees and it felt like the surface of the fucking sun. And we drove past a group of young men digging a fucking ditch to repair the dilapidated road. Young men. Where are the feminist videos complaining that there aren't enough young white female ditch diggers, huh? Maybe because those men are engaging in grueling physical labor in a concrete volcano and not sitting in a desk in an air-conditioned adult playground like the Google offices? Yeah, ladies. Until you start also screeching about and screeching for equal representation in ditch digging and join those boys in the Baltimore projects digging up the streets in the blistering heat, you should stop screeching altogether, you intolerable harpies. I could go on, but there's a whole bunch of it. I don't know how much I want to give away for the whole video.
Did you listen to Destiny when he freaked out about that? He's like, hey, man, nobody has respect for themselves when they're doing those kinds of jobs. Come on, nobody wants to work that shit. And then fucking Jim went off.
Fine.
No, Sargon went off on that, actually.
People do. That's all they can. Sometimes that's really good money, actually.
Really some people have a lot of respect for themselves when they go do fucking hard work that nobody wants to do and they get a good job done.
It sucks. It sucks.
But you can still feel good about yourself. That's fine.
So here's the thing. It's just these people coming as the son of two small business owners who were literally refugees coming to this country and started from nothing, from a communist civil war. I respect people who work for a living. They taught me respect for people who work for a living. These people who are literally the definition of like bourgeois, white, middle class, liberal, going to college, haven't learned to respect at work or look down on people who actually work. That's the issue, or at least
they don't care. No, they don't. People like Steve Bonnell, that guy Destiny, he hates. He really does truly, I believe, and I don't like him either, so he can piss off. But he hates the average working person because he actively works to destroy their livelihood. He thinks that if a poor person, a poor white person, I should make this clear, it doesn't matter if you're a Romanian and you moved here from the Eastern Bloc. It doesn't matter if you are a black Nubian and you moved here legally. He cares more about the illegal Mexican, who, by the way, he also thinks to fix their country. That doesn't make
he thinks he's going to grow the economy, even though they're not paying taxes.
Yeah, we should blow their entire country up, because that'll fix it.
Oh, no, that was later. He's like, what we need to do is spend the money we spent in Afghanistan down there. So we can send money down there and then blow them up and try to rebuild it.
Blow up their country and rebuild it, and that'll fix it.
That doesn't sound good.
Okay. Yes, I'm not really sure what Steve Bonnell believes. I know he hates me. By the way, he'll find this. He'll find this right here, and he will send all of his fans to come. And by the way, tomorrow, my friends, let me tell you what, I'm going to get about 10,000 calls on my phone because his fans the fuck out that I even mentioned him.
That's fine. I'll bring my phone right into the base. I'll be like, I'm getting harassed by this guy. Deal with it.
I have had to change my phone number 3 times now because they keep finding my phone numbers. Even though I keep changing them, he keeps finding them and keeps sending them to his fans or keeps telling his fans to find them. Whatever.
What the fuck did you do to him? You made like a fucking 6-minute video or some fucking thing?
I called him out. No. I'll tell you what I did. Because I've been real honest about it.
You got real shit drunk one night and fucking did a stream. A year ago.
Yeah.
I
was on poll and someone's like, debate this idiot leftist. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. I had never heard of him before. I debated, quote him. I didn't know that he had really crazy cultist followers. And I was like, okay, I'll debate you. And I just said stupid shit. And honestly, I just talked to him like a normal human being. And every out of video pretty much, he sends his followers to come and attack me. And tells them, oh, look what you did this time. Look what you did this time. He gets so fucking insane about it. It's like, dude, I haven't talked to you in a year.
Yeah, Kiwi Farms got pretty pissed off about that. I seen that.
What is wrong with you, man? Like, just get over it. I don't talk to you. I've never talked to you. I talked to you once when I was completely drunk out of my mind. Are you this sad and this desperate? It's not healthy. Get over it, my dude.
The fucked up thing is, if he's just playing games, like I've seen him play games with Pichu, and he's just like really chill. He seems like a really solid person. I've talked to
chill.
Yeah, I've talked to people that like know him in person.
He's very desperate.
But like when he like gets on political shit, his fucking brain just like snaps out. I don't know what the fuck happens to him.
Like at this point, I haven't talked to him in over a year. He seems so desperate. And I don't ever talk about him, but he keeps talking about me and bringing me up on his stream. He does it. By the way, I get messages pretty much every couple weeks that'll be like, oh, hey, Destiny mentioned you this week. Destiny mentioned you again. I'm like, dude, get over it. I was drunk on a stream with you. I've been honest about it because I don't give a shit. You have spent over a year trying to destroy my life. It's not working for you.
You took a video down, didn't you? Like again, I seen it.
I did only because he was using it as a to try
DMC it if there's any of his shit in there.
It's fine. I mean, if he wants to keep doing it, it's at this point it's not looking good for him.
It's fucked. I don't understand how anybody can like make that much money, be entertaining doing like video game content.
It's not entertaining. Then, like, he's an idiot.
Well, like to some people he's entertaining. Like he gets enough views that he's entertaining to some people. But then like spurg out that hard when he's doing like political stuff. Like
yeah,
I don't understand why you do that.
The people that I would consider, like, I don't know Mr. Medicare.
Oh, Jim?
I don't know him personally. I know Jim very much embarrassed him.
I remember
I do.
Still internet everything. Sorry.
Jim went off.
I do know relatively personally is Naked Ape, who also embarrassed him. And that was...
Yeah, his fans will still occasionally raid the Ape server.
That doesn't surprise me. Ape is great.
That was
he can be abrasive, but I fucking love Naked Ape. I wish I could talk to Naked Ape once, because goddamn, I would give my right arm to talk with Naked Ape just once.
It's not that hard.
No, Ape, just reach out to him. He's a very, very, very cool and open dude. It's kind of the thing is that, like, I think he gives off the impression that he's unreachable because, one, he has a large audience, but also because he kind of is abrasive like that. But Ape is incredibly, he's a very, very cool guy. He's very easily approachable. He's one of the most approachable people I've ever talked to on YouTube, actually. And, I mean, I should probably reach out to fucking Jim at some point because Jim and I have now both been on, Kevin Johnson, #1, get out for Aiden trending. Go ahead and try. That'd be great. Kid Conjure, does Kim Jong-un look like Majin Buu? Well, they're both equally fat.
Kim Jong-un's not pink enough. He's too pale.
And Arabian Babe, Steve Bonnell supports incest. He couldn't come up with an argument against it. Also, drunk Aiden is a cunt Aiden. It's true because it rhymes. Yes, that's true. That's very much true that Steve Bonnell has supported incest. He's also supported animal sex.
Wait, what?
Wow, I missed that one.
What?
Yeah, he actually spent about like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on a stream with some faggot from Pole. Saying that he supports people fucking animals.
And their siblings?
Because he can't, okay. This argument where it's like, a lot of us are of a little bit of differing opinions in terms of the political spectrum, but we can have a productive conversation, correct? All of us?
Right.
Yes?
Yeah. I'm way more left than you for sure.
Bonnell is not of that debate, of that.
I will scream out at you until I'm blue in the face and nothing will get
so
done.
hard.
Bonnell is not in that position at all. He thinks that if you're anywhere near right of him, you're a Nazi, you're evil, you need to be proven wrong on anything you believe. And if that includes having sex with animals, that means he has to support having sex with animals.
Did you get Ground Zero gave you $20 there?
I'm looking now. I think I did say that, but oh shit, did I? Kevin Johnson, what about the reaction of getting called a Nazi by everyone left of Marx, and now people are becoming Nazis? I'm worried about that. That's kind of why I sort of wanted to do this stream, because that's very disturbing, isn't it? Did someone give me and talked about?
It's way up there. Hayden, I identify as Saru no Hado, surge of murderous intent. I get off beating my opponents to death by throwing fireballs at them. My pronouns are Metsu, Shuriku, Hadouken, and Shoryuken.
What? Where are you?
Oh, thank you. I totally missed that. Thank you, though, for reading it. I couldn't find that. I didn't say that at all. Thank you, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
Aiden, sweet or dry mead? What was my last batch? It's been almost 8 months, I think, since the last time I actually made any mead. Also, what do you think of the attempt to take down Teddy Roosevelt statue? Well, they're going to try to take down every statue, clearly. Dropping a Destiny Deuce. The screeching hurts. Matt Fields, are you,
Did you see that someone vandalized the Abraham Lincoln Memorial?
Yeah, man. What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Gasping Mommy Aiden?
Literally, of
I
all
want
the
to escape the
citizens.
spiraling hellhole. I want to escape this hellhole too, dude. It's awful.
No, it's beyond any reason at this point when it comes to the defacing of monuments. They're doing it because it triggers conservatives, not because it has any actual rational reason for their own logic.
Well, they take down their own shitty fucking statues. Matthew Meeks, by the way, thank you. Destiny doesn't like traps because he's a bigot. He is a bigot. He's an extreme bigot. And he, oh, by the way, guys, get ready, because tomorrow I'm going to get fucking 30 calls a day from my third changed number. Destiny fanboys, because they're going to get really upset that I
screenshot them all. That'll.
Oh, I have. They don't care. They know that they've done it, and then they'll go ahead and cry about people on the left being doxxed. They know.
No, I just want to laugh at them. I don't want you to dox them.
Yeah. They apparently know my real name. At least they don't like constantly publish it on. I could say thank you for that, I suppose. But no, they're gonna.
Yeah, given that, actually, I'm surprised and a little glad, as someone going to psychology myself, that you still have a career in academia in the social sciences. Even though I don't want to do research. I mean,
barely. I'm not well liked. If it's not clear, I'm not well liked.
You haven't at least been driven out of town with pitchforks and torches.
Are you not well liked by your peers?
That's something.
Or not well liked by your students, though.
Because my students like me. It's my peers who are kind of.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Not all my peers. Some of my peers are fucking fantastic.
I'd say they're doing a thing right now, at least in this country, where they're talking to like 13 to 15-year-olds and talking about like where they're sitting politically, and it's ridiculously far fucking right.
Oh, I know. Oh,
like scary far right.
Dude.
Like for me, fucking terrifyingly far right.
Oh, I
like,
know.
No, we're gonna have another fucking Jack Thompson. God damn it.
I don't want that either, though. I don't want extreme
You're not
far
insane.
right. But you know, it's gonna like it.
All the polls show that Gen Z is further right than millennials are, but not to the extent. I don't think we're gonna get another like a moral panic or religious right, like no gay marriage and kind of like. I think people have learned their lesson the first time that hill, choosing to die on that hill was a stupid idea, and it cost them a lot of political power.
Let's just hate the gays.
Definitely, that killed all the momentum. The joke was this is what I think happened. So I was briefly involved with this whole atheism plus thing before I realized what was actually going on.
Oh God, I remember that in middle school.
Yeah, and what ended up happening was that it looked like the movement was being taken over from the inside, and that's clearly what was happening. But at the time, because the religious right in the U.S. had basically shot itself in the foot by getting too preachy, there was this position where there were all these atheists. They could have been such a huge kind of like middle-class donor base in terms of political lobbying, in the same way that you have all these religious lobbies and shit like that. Well, it ends up not being able to happen because Atheism Plus splits the movement, and I think that that was very intentional to kill the momentum. I don't think that that was a random chance that that took place.
Yeah.
I don't actually think it was completely random either. I think that's part of the issue that's happening here as well, that we're seeing with the skeptics. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
You mean like in the way that they're not willing to actually touch certain issues because they don't want to get branded far right, even though they're going to get called far right regardless?
Yeah.
That's what I don't understand. Like, here's the fucking thing, you idiots, okay? You're gonna get called a far-right extremist no matter what the fuck you do. So you might as well just be honest. And it doesn't make sense to me because there are people that I think are... Shit, how much am I willing to say on a live stream? People who I think are legitimate and honest and good people, like the Worskies. I think they are good people. They, you know, anything else you want to think about them, I think that that Chris and Andy Worski are good people who are in this, you know, to be entertainers.
They live in Toronto too, by the way. So too much is going to get them fucking hung.
it will get them hung if they don't fucking shut up. I know that, and I think that's part of the problem with them is that, like, they're a little bit too honest, but they're really, really, really on the fucking edge of, I think, what will determine the skeptics. And you know what, Hard Bastard and I have talked about this a lot, and I feel very insecure talking about things without his kind of like go ahead on things.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about everything as sort of a
I would assume so.
a team on some shit, and I just texted him, but like I don't know the extent to which I'd be willing to discuss certain aspects of this, but I would never ever presume to speak for him. We do generally tend to have similar opinions, but we're not identical.
Well, I mean, I watch his shit too. I think I can fucking differentiate a little bit.
Yeah, he's more liberal than I am, by far. I'm trying. This is the whole thing. Is that I'm actually. The entire reason I started dating him is to indoctrinate him into being a conservative.
You have to kill the hope inside his heart.
I have to just destroy it slowly, one by one.
Woman, you can't do it. Don't do it. Don't ruin him. He'll be dead, bastard. Then sad bastard.
My heart's already dead, so what would that mean? Like doubly dead. No. I think there are people who are good people out there. I think Mr. Repsion's one as well, who it's like they're not trying to be manipulative and terrible. There are people who are trying to be manipulative and terrible, and I don't know how willing I am to not Sargon. I don't think it's Sargon or Dave.
Because Sargon is like a legitimate classical liberal. He's a liberal in the Canadian, like the...
Yes, Sargon and Dave Cullen. And Dave Cullen's not a liberal. I don't know how he gets away with this shit. Because he's a fucking conservative. I don't know why they don't him up by the fucking fingernails. Because he has talked about RK selection theory. He has talked about the differences between men and women. He's talked about the differences between race. He's like Irish... Molly meme, essentially.
I think they want to draw attention away from him so that people aren't led to him, probably. Because typically I find when they prioritize their enemies, the cultural Marxists target people who have a very calm and concise way of speaking above people who rant. They don't care about the people who scream loudly at the camera. They care about people who are soft-spoken. And they get really mad about people like Roaming Millennial in that regard.
I don't understand why she gets shit. I have no idea why she gets the shit she does.
So moderate, though. I don't get it either.
Yeah. No, that's why she gets the shit, because she's someone who can convert normies. That's why.
Yeah, you might be right on that one.
I mean, I scream. I think like I don't think I'm really a very good...
No, you laugh mockingly. You screaming doesn't come across as super aggressive. When you just start laughing, like hard, that's...
Yeah.
It's actually fucking great when your avatar changes like that.
No, it's really funny for me, but whew, if I 100% disagreed with you, I'd be like, you fucking asshole. Fuck you! And your purple ass fucking avatar.
Oh, that'd be great. Let me see, where are we? Tiberius Gracchus, did you already tell me gas me, mommy, Aiden? I want to escape this silent hellhole. Did we talk about that already?
Yep.
Thank you, though. Tomorrow features autistic screeching intensifies. Yeah, it always will. Bell Phosphorus Night. This stream sounds better than Gen Z. Into the gas chamber with you and your stream and our trap overlords. Or you can go to the Gulag. Gulag, I'm sure, trust me, it's gonna be my next video. I made a horrible song and recorded a terrible song.
Oh dear. I'm looking forward to this.
We'll see how bad, if it's, I sent it to somebody, one of my friends, and we'll see how bad it is. He seemed to think it was really cringy. The
That
video
makes it better.
It
That makes it
cringy, though.
infinitely better.
The cringier, the better.
Matthew makes shit. I should have changed my username before posting my super chat. Well, you did it again, dude. What the fuck are you expecting? Santiago, atheism plus was a mistake. It absolutely was. Benny Farmer, ISIS was taking down monuments before it was cool. ISIS is a bunch of faggots.
Come Naish, they
No,
hate
the
that
Taliban
more.
were dumb. Remember they destroyed the largest Buddhist statues in the world in Afghanistan? In what was
Yes,
the 90s?
did. Yep. Can't have those terrible statues of Buddha because he's such a fucking. I don't know. What are you gonna say about Buddha? Let's get real.
Don't tear that shit down. That's fat shit. Fucks.
Actually, good news though. They found more statues of like ancient Buddhist statues in Afghanistan, tucked away in like hidden caves, like in that valley where all
better
the
destroy
Buddhists
them.
were. No, they're a top secret location. Archaeologists won't tell anyone where the fuck they are now.
Well, you better destroy them anyway, because they're clearly fucking racist or something.
I don't know.
If you ever want to see like legitimate sexism, if you just want to mock the entire fucking like North America and most of Europe, I was over in Kuwait during Ramadan, and then I traveled during it. And you want to see some fucking sexist ass shit, man? Like, I laugh when I hear people complain about that kind of shit. Like, oh god, we're so oppressed over here. You see that kind of shit, and you're like, holy fuck, they are fucking ankle to wrist, head down, covered everywhere.
For countries.
Like it's fucked.
You've been liberated from the male gaze. That's the whole goal here, right?
I saw one comment from some random idiot from the Middle East. I don't know. He said that the male gaze emits radiation, and the burqa protects women from that radiation.
Well, I'll tell you what. The male gaze, they do all kinds of shit. One, they emit rainbows. Rainbows that are emitted from the male gaze.
It's only gay people.
The GAYS.
No. AZE.
So, oh.
Like literally, men looking at women emits radiation if you're uncovered from head to toe.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the male gaze.
No, those
I
are.
thought-
Oh no.
I thought all they emitted were, perfume and excuse me, eau de toilette and rainbows.
Toilet water? No.
Jesus Christ.
How does
What
that
the-
sound?
Fucking goddamn joke! I'm so sorry.
You're the most educated person in here. That's what you did. This is what you've said. That's what 2 master's degrees accomplished.
That's what all these master's degrees are for.
Yeah, male
terrible
gaze, one
gay
word for
jokes.
each. Mock the gays.
Hooray for the gays.
Radiation.
The gaydar.
Actually, I'll tell you. Until about a month ago, I didn't know what eau de toilette was.
Shitty perfume.
I don't know what that is.
No, it's not toilet water. It's like it's basically like perfume. It's like a
It's
lighter.
perfume, but that's what it stands for.
It's a
O is
lighter.
water. O
Yeah,
means water.
I know it stands for. I know it means toilet water, but like it doesn't. It's not what it really means. It means like it's a lighter form of perfume.
Yeah.
But it's
Really?
not. Yeah, it's like I didn't even know what it was until I bought some.
Wait, what? You thought it
And I
was
was
legit
like, oh,
toilet water
what's
until
the-
now?
Toilet.
God damn it.
No, I was like, I wanted the scent
Better.
that I liked, and I was like, I want this scent, but I can't get it in a distilled fucking But the only way I can get it distilled is something called eau de toilette. And I thought, I don't want to buy toilet water and put it on myself.
God damn it.
What women do when they mean powder their noses, they really just splash toilet water all over themselves.
It's really just like
Or-
a really light form of cologne. It's
Yeah.
just like a very, very
Oh.
light form of cologne.
It's watered down perfume.
Actually, Aiden, I have a question real quick. I apologize if this is a stupid question, but the drink in your profile pic, is that a martini? I'm always been curious what kind of drink that was. Okay, just
and if you have any questions about how I take it dirty and with gin.
God damn it.
I'm very masculine about my drinks, just like I'm very masculine in terms of my autism.
Yeah, you see, I'm Asian, so my alcohol tolerance is not existent.
You sound like a faggot to me, my dude. Sorry.
No problem. But yeah, my alcohol tolerance is fucking awful. One hard drink and I'm fucking out. I skip drunk. I just go from sober to passed out. It's kind of bad.
No, you gotta
stick to lighter drinks, my dude. Get half shots.
Get more drunk. Come on.
I'm not sure that's a good.
I understand what it's like when your arms start falling asleep because of your alcoholism. That's fun.
No.
Jesus Christ. What?
Well, that's a fun thing. Anyway, let's go back to Trump. Let's not talk about my arms falling asleep.
We were here for, right?
Oh, damn it.
What we were talking about. Whoops.
Yeah, I don't get what the reaction was, though. He was like, I think there were violent people on both sides, as evidenced by the fact that there were, one asshole in a car killed a person and injured a bunch of others, and then there were people beating the absolute fuck Christ out of each other.
That means he's a fucking Nazi. If he condemns both sides, he's a fucking Nazi, you fucking white
for black boots, bitches.
My
shit.
People on Twitter right now saying Trump is a Nazi because he said everyone is fucked up, but I denounced the KKK and the alt-right. Nazi. He just said he denounced Nazis, you retards. Jesus Christ.
He said the alt-left at one point, and people have been fucking spurring out about that. It just got off a fucking...
alt-left.
Yeah,
that's the fucking Antifa.
Yeah. I was like, what are you supposed to call them? I wouldn't call Antifa, like, I'm left-wing. Like, I wouldn't call me Antifa.
I wouldn't call Antifa... Here's the thing. I wouldn't call Antifa the left either. Because I know for a fact, and this is the most astounding thing that I could say that out of everything that's come out of this last election, is that people on the right and the left have been able to come together. Hard Bastard and I, for example, he was a leftist. Yeah, I'm really trying to get that motherfucker on the right. I'm real trying to move that.
Leave it alone.
No, trust me, that's never gonna happen. But like, I'm trying real hard to move that motherfucker. But that's not gonna happen anytime or ever. But like, hey, you know what? That's fine. That's how normal politics works. Is it like, oh hey, I don't agree with you. Oh, I don't agree with you. That's okay. And before him, and the reason why I broke up with the dude I was dating before him is because I would sit here in this room that I'm sitting in right now, and I would be recording YouTube videos, and he'd be like, "Shut up, you bitch!" And he would get so angry. He would get fucking irate. He would get irate. He would get. I had to edit it out of my videos because he would get so mad. He would get so angry. I'd have to like cut out the
rage.
Yeah, he would get so mad that I had to cut it out of my videos.
But see, now you've broken up with him. You should make a super clip of that entire thing.
That's
gone now. It's all been deleted, like, because it got deleted, of course. But he would get fucking irate. He hated everything. He was a very big liberal. But look. Here's the thing, up until the Trump thing, I didn't think that this was an issue to the extent of which it clearly is. I never had an issue dating people who were politically not identical to me. And now it's like, well, I mean, and HB and I aren't politically identical. Obviously, we're very different, but like, that's fine. And I think actually it works very well for us because like, oh, we can have a normal human conversation about our differences in politics.
Here's the thing. It's a matter of respect and rule of law. Basically, people say the problem started with Trump. It's been going on a lot longer than that. Basically, since, what was the first one? I think Ferguson was the first one. When Black Lives Matter.
Ferguson was a big thing.
Yeah, like maybe it started before that, but that was kind of like the initial like big red flag when Ferguson burned down. Then you had Berkeley several times. You had fucking like, I don't know.
Baltimore, man. That was fucked.
Cities burning down, and because civility and rule of law kind of broke down, leftists just let police stand down and all these rioters and thugs and Antifa just walked all over it. And now, here's the thing. That woman who died because of the escalation. The left started it. They ratcheted it up. Constantly.
Yeah, but we can't. Please, can we not, like, I don't want to be one of those virtue signaling faggots. It's like, oh, no, but seriously, I feel bad for that woman. She didn't do, I don't even know, even if she beat that guy's dude, even if she beat that dude's car with a bat, she doesn't fucking deserve to be dead.
I mean, I'm not saying she's
same with the two cops, right? They were responding to a situation that never should have fucking happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
Deserve to die. I'm not, an asshole. I'm just saying.
No, I know you're not. I'm just.
Yeah. This is
my virtue signaling.
Yeah, this is like the culmination of what's been happening for the past couple of years. And it started way before Trump. Trump was just another symptom of it, really. It was
Trump was a reaction. Trump was a reaction to people saying, "Fuck white people. You should feel guilty if you're white, especially if you're a dude and you don't like other dudes. You fucking bigot." Oh shit! All these white people voted for Trump. I wonder why.
Like, I'm sure that she was a lefty cunt. I'm sure she was. But it doesn't mean I want her to be dead. I don't want anyone to be dead. This is this whole fucking thing. I don't want anyone the right to be dead either. I don't like any of this shit. And I hate the fact that I have to defend crap like that. It makes me feel disgusted.
Thunderdome that shit, man. Put them all in a big fucking Thunderdome.
Do you even really have to address?
Okay, yeah. Let's put everyone in a fucking Thunderdome if you're gonna fucking play this goddamn game. Let's go.
Where do we kickstart that? I want to kickstart that. Let's do it.
Who's real short? Who wants to sit on my shoulders? I'm like 6'1".
Oh yeah, and dueling is legal again in Canada now, so you
Dueling is legal in Canada.
Get Ricky. What's his name on Twitter? He'll wield a spear. Oh man, that would be awesome. Holy shit! I would pay for that. I'd certainly pay fucking primetime shit for that.
Put the shit right in the right above Maine.
With a spear or an Antifa dude with a bike lock.
Oh no!
Oh no!
The spear's got more.
All these faggots. Seriously, fuck them all. Fuck all these people who want to try to fucking start this war. Like, here's the thing. I'll tell you this right the fuck now, and it's not just for you guys, because you guys know this, but this is to all of these Antifa little cucks. Listen, you know who has the fucking guns and the helicopters and all of the ability to fight back in this nation of the United States? Guess what? It's not your little lefty friends living in their communes. It's me. I've got weapons, and I am trained in how to utilize them.
Here's the thing, though. That's not the people that are shooting people, to be fair. It's not the people that are trained and are allowed to have the weapons that are shooting people because they understand how weapons work and have respect for them. It's
people
literally...
are mad like about the trans people not being allowed to shoot in the military. They don't have a problem with me as a bipolar person being able to own a gun.
Here's the thing about the trans people being in the military, and I'm going to tell you this right now.
Let's get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you this to somebody in the military. No, I'm going to throw this out front. Here, we pay for.
Yeah, let's go.
We pay for the surgery. We don't care. We'll do all the things there. The reason it's not the cost, and that's where they're having a problem. It's not the cost of keeping trans people in the military. It's logistics. It's the same reason somebody with type 2 diabetes can't be.
Absolutely. Thank you.
If you're not deployable, you're not employable. That's what that means. Okay, and what it boils down to, and I'll tell you where I have an issue with that too. With just to fucking put that up top. So there are men. If you're over 40, a lot of men have an issue with testosterone right now, and they get the same symptoms when they're not on the testosterone that a trans person would get. They get lethargic. They get moody. They get weird. But as a man, you're still allowed to deploy that way, right? It bothers me that there's a discrimination there.
Do they allow men over 40 to deploy in active combat situations? I'm just wondering about to the extent to which they allow men at that age to deploy.
Oh, they
I would imagine it would be. But yes, but it's probably going to be a relatively small percentage, correct?
Yeah. When you're over,
it depends on the trade, man. Like they're
probably going to be in a certain position where they're not going to be in active combat. Yes.
But it's not the combat problem. It's depending on the country you're in, right? Right now we're dealing with Latvia. They're sending a pilot to Latvia, say, right?
Why is sending people to Latvia?
Just the area.
I don't agree with that at all. Don't send people to fucking Latvia. Latvia's fine. We don't have any issue in fucking Latvia.
They're not sending like a fucking unit to go attack Latvia. They're sending people to Latvia to to be able to deploy other places.
Right.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing wrong with the Baltics. There's nothing wrong with Baltic states. They can fucking defend themselves.
Well,
The Baltic states
I
are
can't
stable.
fix this. What do you want from me?
I know. My point is, though, I have so many problems with the fucking military. Yeah. My point is that, like, okay, Jesus Christ, where do you
ADD is the same
thing.
So
my first point is why the fuck are you sending people to Latvia? Because Latvia can defend itself.
Actually,
it's not defend Latvia; it's a staging area.
I'm gonna have to disagree. The whole reason why we're sending people to Latvia, Poland, Estonia, and all that is basically to buffer our eastern border of NATO with Russia. Because if Russia decides to like invade, which I don't think they will, I think
they're not going to.
I think Russia's the whole stupid thing. But the rationale is that our eastern border is unsecure with all these tiny little Baltic states. The Baltic states cannot stop Russia. Russia can walk within like a week all over the Baltic states if they really want to. I don't think they will, but high command. We
can't. Why do we have so many soldiers in Germany? If you really think that it's a okay, I don't think. By the way, I don't think Russia is going to invade the Baltic states. They're not going to. The reason now, okay, I understand. Look, I get. By the way, I can anticipate your argument. Well, they invaded the Ukraine. Ukraine has never been. Okay, the Ukraine has always been a part of Russia. Independent country. Yeah. You can go ahead and say that they're, but they have not been. Now it's a very different. It's a very different argument between the Ukraine and the Baltic states. Those are completely different arguments.
You understand the need for posturing, though, right?
Yeah, I understand the need.
Ukraine as a political entity was created by the Austrian crown.
There you go. Yeah, but the need
I
for
understand. I understand why people want to do it, but it's not. We should just give up on trying to maintain control of the Ukraine and just give it to the Russians. It's been it now. If you want to debate on how much of the Ukraine is Russian and how much of the Ukraine is Polish, you could make that argument. But if you want to, like, okay, first of all, let's go into this argument. Why does the United States provide 95% of the fund for NATO? Why?
I don't know, but all I do know is that after Trump went apeshit, we went from 0.8 of our GDP to going to 1.8 over the next fucking 5 years. So thanks, Trump.
Why there's all these countries that we just protect? Yeah. That we just protect. They don't provide anything to NATO.
It's supposed to be 2% of your GDP.
They don't provide anything.
It's supposed to be 2% of your GDP per country.
Well, how many countries?
I'm not talking about
us, Britain, and Poland. I think we're the only actually 3 countries who meet that 2% minimum standard.
No, let's say thanks, Trump. Yep. We went from 0.8 to going up to 1.8.
It's us, the UK, and Poland are the only ones providing any amount of money towards NATO.
Yeah, I love Poland.
Well, me too. Polska Silna. They're the only ones who fucking give any shit about providing towards NATO. And why the fuck do we have to pay for every other goddamn country? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. If you want us to protect you,
acquire any arms without a procurement scandal. Every time the Canadian government has adopted any new technology, it has resulted in a procurement scandal for the last 100 years. So even though we have good soldiers and good training for them and stuff like that, actually equipping them and getting them with any kind of projection is a real problem for Canada. And it's literally just the corruption within the actual procurement.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is, the people of Eastern Europe, they are capable of defending themselves. We're treating them like children by acting like they can't. They are capable of defending themselves. And it's fucked up and stupid for the United States to treat them like children, just as it's fucked up and stupid for the European Union to treat them like children. And that is why Poland and the Czech Republic and why Hungary and Bulgaria are all about to fuck right the fuck off out of the European Union. Because
you might want to slow your roll on that, though, a little bit. There's a reason. A very political reason why the United States likes to throw that kind of military force around, right? It's not just to say, hey,
throw it around.
It's being thrown around. It's being thrown around to say to have more political fucking sway.
Sure.
To be fair.
And I don't like it, and I don't think Trump likes it. I think that's one of the things that
Trump
upsets the
like
globalists.
And that's
because the
exactly
globalists
why
don't like that.
That's exactly why Canada is going from 0.8 to 1.8 within the next 5. I think it's 5 years for military spending.
5 years.
Yeah, and
quick, Nicholas Evyen, I advocate for every American to own a firearm. Me too. That means every individual, not just one per household. You need to have protection. Period. I agree 100%. I sure do.
There's so many stupid
agree.
people. There's so many stupid people.
So what? You can. Every stupid person on the planet can buy a fucking knife. What the fuck is the difference?
That one is much better at killing a person.
Then what? Okay, so if you're going to say that, though, you have to say that nobody can own knives either.
No, that's not true. One can kill a person from a distance, and one has a lot greater chance of being
killed. Can't be able to buy fireworks either.
The realities of rural living.
Yeah, like I understand, and I don't disagree with your Second Amendment. I actually don't disagree too much on the ownership of firearms. I do think there should be mental health checks. I do think there should be training.
I agree. There should be. Here's the things that I agree with: mental health checks, and you should have to take a basic test to show that you're not completely crazy. But that's not going to eliminate everybody.
No, I understand, but the idea that everybody should own a firearm, not super on board with that.
The way I see it, basically, if it's just
you're right,
the possibility that people can own firearms within the area, that's enough of a deterrent, especially if it's concealed carry. Because a mugger knows that he's about to mug, has a knife or a gun or whatever.
I absolutely agree with that. I have no problem with that.
Don't you come and take it, motherfucker. Don't you fuck with me. I fly this flag in front of my house. You come to my apartment. You see that flag in front of my house. You know you don't come and fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
Oh, I think you got a
That's all I
super
know.
chats too there.
Okay, so Iratami, Ohio drivers don't have people that hit houses. Yeah, pretty much. I lived in Ohio for a long
time. Did you get generic there?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, shit. Yeah, hang on. Tiberius Gakkus against Aiden. I'm sorry, I'm partially drunk. Hey, me too. On potato vodka, not on potato. I only drink good Polish vodka, which is grain. Good Polish vodka. Shitty Polish vodka is potatoes. And Captain Morgan. Also, get the fuck off this tangent. I want to hear about Daddy Trump. I know we're trying. We probably should get off this. We've been doing this all.
Actually, one thing real quick, Aiden, I want to bring up. Yeah, you brought up Germany. Quick clarification: the reason why we have so many troops in Germany is that's because where we have Ramstein Air Force Base, which is European headquarters.
Yes, I know that.
Okay, just
quite well.
Sorry, just
my point is we shouldn't, right?
Well, how else to be devil's advocate though? How do you? If you are the world hegemony, the exchange of power, if any other group were to supplant you, would be so extreme. There's no way it couldn't kill tens of millions worldwide, just indirectly. I think when you're making that big of a power vacuum and a replacement movement. So, what really, if you're stuck in that position where you are on top and you know it's definitely going to be worse in the short term, no matter what, if you stop being on top, what motivation do you have not to take proactive steps to stay there, suppressing your competition, etc.?
I get the argument. My problem is I just don't like how much money we spend in areas where we are not actively working, essentially.
Well,
I get your argument 100%. I understand, like, by removing our forces, we would be removing an enormous figure that's been there for 60 years. I get that.
That's the thing. They could be also trying to win in the first place, which they're not. They're just trying to prolong the conflict.
This is just I don't like how much. Like, here's the thing. I'm very pro-military spending, but I'm not pro-military wasting. And I fear that much of the money that we spend is a waste.
You're not wrong. Oh, God damn it. Sorry.
It's terrifying to me because I don't like how much money we're just dumping down the drain. Like the amount of people. So maybe we had even a small so let's say we maintain a very, very, very small maintenance level of people in Germany. That would be fine. But do you know how many people are in Germany? It's like tens of thousands of soldiers. It's an enormous amount of people. I don't know the exact numbers. It's a lot of people in Germany. It's a lot of people in Okinawa. Why do we have these many soldiers in these places where now Okinawa at this point, given the problem with North Korea, makes a little bit more sense.
It made sense to keep them there as long as they did to begin with. The problem being is that what happened with Japan worked out to the benefit of the world, basically.
We had to redevelop their society because we.
And you had to have that.
Oh, we can have the entire conversation about that. Ugh.
But you have to have a constant threat there. That's what happened with the Middle East. You can't just go in, attack, leave, and then expect a power gap not to create a problem.
Yeah, you literally have to Marshall Plan them up to a functioning society.
Yeah, it's
and
like
it works
20.
But can you actually do that with the Middle East without simply colonizing the place?
The problem is that it's
fucking... Perseus is right there. It's why I don't think we should do anything about the Middle East. The thing is, and I'll say this right here, Japanese and Eastern and Western societies are more cohesive and more cohesion society. Their society just does not mesh with ours. I would say just build a wall. Just build a fucking wall around them and let them kill themselves. Let them all just murder each other. Fuck them. I don't give a shit about their stuff. Let them go kill each other because I don't give a shit. We should have nothing to do with their shitty fucking caveman society. I don't want anything to do with it. We probably shouldn't have had anything to do with Japanese society, but Japanese society was at least, and I'll tell you this because I know a hell of a lot about Japanese society, is that after the introduction of
so we westernized the fuck out of it.
Yes, we did.
You know that, right?
Yeah. Trust me.
That's your field, yo.
So after the massive westernization, that was our fault. But we also fucked them up, okay? We also really fucked their society up for about 150 years. Mm-hmm. We really screwed them up in a lot of ways. And it like threw their society off kilter. I'm just saying, why don't we just stop doing that? Why don't we just stop trying to screw up people's culture's natural progression and we just build a fucking build a fucking wall over the northern borders of Africa and let those people all just fucking kill themselves. I'm sorry. Let work yourselves out. Sort yourself out, as Jordan Peterson would say. I know that's like a terrible thing to say, but like sort yourself out. Sort yourself out.
Walls don't work. Aircraft carriers work. Leave those there.
I don't want to do anything to your society. I think your society should have to, I do not want to affect your society. You should sort yourself out. That's all I want. And I'm so sorry, and I feel like shit for knowing that we have done things to your society that we should not have done. I don't like that at all. It doesn't mean that we're now responsible for everything in your society. Yeah. We should not. You go sort yourself out. Clean your fucking room.
The proxy war with Russia is also a thing too, right?
Yes, Africa and China. You know how much China has involved in Darfur? Jesus Christ.
They're investing a lot of fucking money in Darfur. And
I don't care.
Overseas military.
I'm drunk. I'm not. I mean, I'm a little bit. But like, here's the thing.
China's more or less encircled India at this point, hasn't it? With its between the areas it's investing in and places it's building highways, it looks like they've literally encircled India.
Yeah, you're not wrong here, actually.
It's like in Nepal, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh. China has presence in all those places, and in the in Africa, right there, just to the southwest of India, right? So it's like shit. I think that there might be some action there. Wasn't there some skirmish, like last month? Wasn't there some skirmish between China and India in the mountains?
Yeah, in the Himalayas, there's a border dispute going on right now that it doesn't look like they'll be able to resolve peacefully, to put it lightly. Who knows how far that can go, but yeah, China's basically surrounding India. They're investing overseas in Africa. They're putting the first overseas military base in Africa, last I checked. I heard they were
freaks me out about China.
Wait, what?
That's not what freaks me out about China. What freaks me out about China is like the amount of oceanic fucking land they're trying to like territory they're trying to take.
Yeah, yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad news. Okay, but
in the long run, the actual technological advancements that might come out of this, like ocean colonization technology they might be developing, I think, outweigh the short-term political downside.
Oh, absolutely. No, I've looked at that. Another thing, if you want to get really tweaked out about China, look at the like they're not abandoned. They built townships and like small villages and like modern villages, obviously, that have nobody in it yet, just for expansion. There's nobody there. They have caretakers that live there.
Should we get back to the Trump kind of thing, or?
Oh yeah, sure. What about Trump?
Aiden, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Absolutely, I'm always here. I was trying to see if I could get edgy in on this.
Thanks.
I do think. Oh man, I remember back when he was.
Excuse me, Braving Ruin.
Yeah.
Braving Ruin.
So sad when his channel went away. I remember his very first video when it came out, and I caught on to that. Back when he was like, I was subscribed to him when he had like 10 subs. Still, I remember.
Yeah, no, I was subscribed to him with a very low sub count. And,
I thought he got booed off YouTube. What happened there?
The whole thing with
Kraut got kind of cucky. I don't know if I want to say that. He got a little bit bitchy about it. How about that?
Yeah, some weird fuck games.
It was also, let's be real.
I thought you just quit.
No. It was kind of like, yeah.
If it's a fucking long topic, I can look it up later. You don't need to.
I would love for him to be on here and describe it himself, but I believe that the actual issue was that, like,
there were fuck games happening.
Yep.
There were fuckboy games happening, but it was also like, what's the best way to describe what happened? Yeah, he was a little bit too far right, and he had said things in private that were more far right than the cucky left was comfortable with, and people like Kraut were like, "Oh fuck you," and I like Kraut, by the way.
Yeah, so like he just seems like he just wants to help fucking people.
I liked Kraut, and he's upset me. So I'm a little bit like mad.
I didn't like what he did to Rage. I thought that was kind of fucked.
So he's playing Mario Kart with a female. Okay, so he can't do that shit. That's fine.
Damn it.
Well, good to see you back, my dude.
No, he has to go. Here's the thing: you gotta lock that pussy down. Is the thing. Lock the pussy down.
With Mario Kart. We live in amazing times.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
I'm not. I'm just saying we live in amazing times.
You have to lock that pussy down. So, no, honestly, like, did Kraut do nothing? No, he did. Kraut has done two things wrong. Kraut got way too fucking pissed off at Edgy, and then he did the. Now, here's the thing: you can ask me, or you could ask Zero Edge. You could ask several. I hate this fucking term. It makes me feel so fucking weird. That we all called out Rage After Storm as being weird, as we were like, yo, this is not a normal channel. And I don't know, maybe she really just was a normal channel. To me,
Chick
though,
is like
she
19,
it came off as very bizarre to me as being a 19-year-old girl who had extremely high quality production values and was extremely right-wing. That came off as very bizarre to me, and not just to me, but to several other people. We didn't know how to. It wasn't just me; it was several other people.
Well, you know how that happened, right? She used to be really, really like social justice left, and then
it was like a year ago, though. And
I think
she was
what
making
getting
videos.
at is that she's controlled opposition of some type.
That was my fear. Controlled opposition. It wasn't just me. It was me and a leftist, a very hardcore leftist. Both thought she was controlled opposition, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?" No, she's not. No, she was 19. I am 27. Yeah. I've had time to be this much of a faggot. I've had enough time to become.
That's where the dyed hair happened.
Yeah. Well, I had dyed hair when I was 19 too, so it's not.
That's what I mean.
Insane. But like, no, we were all very confused. What the fuck is going on? Like, how makes sense? Because at least in current year, being that hardcore of a conservative didn't make any sense. So we couldn't understand how she got.
lived.
And in retrospect, yes, I would say yes, it did. Because
she talked about getting roped and shit a pile of times, and that could snap somebody pretty fast, I think.
Yeah, I think in retrospect it made sense. Everything about her made sense. Of her just being, she had a very rich family who paid for her very expensive cameras and her expensive all of her shit. But because that was my big yeah, no, that was my big fear. Was I was like, what the fuck is up with all this production quality? Because I don't have any production quality. I'm just like some shit faggot. But yeah, I think in retrospect, what happened is she had a rich family, and she just that was not totally unbelievable. You know,
I mean, you say you have no production quality. Her editing probably takes less time. She literally just.
Oh no! My editing takes.
Like a lot of it, like I would see like 5 jump cuts in a whole video.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, by that I mean the quality, the camera.
Getting a really expensive camera isn't necessarily like as expensive and prohibitive as it used to be, right? It's just,
I would say that her production value was probably $5,000 of basic. Most people who go into YouTube don't have $5,000 to go into it on.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. I don't know.
Now that's why I'm just saying that's why people like myself and Neeraj were like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
See, I never had that suspicion just based on where she said she was living, and I was like, "Oh, you often go to Germany?" Yeah, I can see why you're I can see why you're pissed.
I never actually watched the video.
Switzerland. She was 18 years old when she started. She was 18 years old when she started, and she started out with a $5,000 camera, about $1,000 worth. And we were like, that's kind of weird.
I never watched her videos or got involved in that, so there's not really much I can say in that.
I don't think you're right, by the way. I've changed my opinion on it totally. I really did think she was originally. I really did originally think that she was controlled opposition. I changed my mind to thinking that she was just a stupid young person who didn't understand anything about conservative politics and was just kind of jumping on it because it was popular.
And she was pissed. Let's be fair.
Well, yeah, you're pissed.
She was legitimately fucking pissed.
Yeah, sure. I understand that completely. But yeah,
I mean, I could get it. Awesome. Yeah, like if I I don't know. I don't have perspective on that. But if I looked like her and I was traveling a lot of fucking really crowded ass trains and shit, going through fucking Germany,
would that really be enough to set you off?
Might be. I don't know. If some of the shit that she said happened to her, like, I don't know, that might piss me off enough to be like, fuck you, fuck all this.
No, she was legit about the things she said. I would absolutely be pissed off as well. I mean, I'm pissed off about the shit that's happening to me here.
Like, if she's as left as she said she was, and that, like, shattered her fucking world vision, I don't know, man. People got set off for less, you know? And she clearly wasn't completely fucking stable.
Laughter, I don't actually know much about this. I didn't really keep up with this when this happened. All I know is
it went from like social justice left to like fucking race realism attack, and people were like, "Whoa, simmer! That's not what stats mean. Calm your tits."
They don't have a very good idea of stats, and it's very disconcerting because I'm starting to feel. That's why I made that most recent video because I'm like, I'm starting to feel very upset. But now if people disagree with me, it can just be like, hey, here is a basic video made for you, little baby. Not like, oh, damn it.
You explain like I'm 5. That's how you do it.
It's made to explain from any level of comprehension. And that's part of the purpose. So, I don't mean to be rude. Jeff Holiday could understand more complex level of statistics. Not to be mean to him. I'm just saying, like, if I started to have a more complicated statistical, so I don't think he could get it. I don't think.
Do you not think he'd get it? Do you think if he stayed 100% sober and you had a long talk with him, do you not think he'd understand, or at least make a fucking solid effort in fucking being able to understand what you're talking about?
No.
Huh?
I'm actually feeling this is starting to make me very upset because it's actually upsetting to me because I kind of thought people had a general similar experience with statistics as I did, and then I got on YouTube.
Oh.
And I realized, oh no, nobody has.
Those are those magical numbers that back up our arguments.
Nobody has any fucking clue. Nobody has any fucking clue what the fuck you're talking about. I don't mean to be rude because I know it's gonna make me sound like an asshole and a cunt, and it's not at Jeff Holiday. It's directed at kind of everybody. I get. Oh, that's even worse, I guess. Of being like,
you elitist fuckhead. God damn it.
No, I'm really. That's why I'm trying to
the
do these like really basic fucking videos of being like, let me try to really, really basically explain statistics because I'm starting to think, fuck, nobody knows how to understand this shit. And you know, when I made that video, when I was writing and recording and making that video that I just put out, I thought this is this is an insulting video. This is insulting because it's way, way, way too simplistic. Dozens and dozens and dozens of comments that were like, I never learned this stuff. I have never heard this. I have never heard about any of this. This is completely new information to me. Well, that explains some shit. I think part of the problem is that I have come from a very privileged, and that's true.
God damn it.
That I've come from a background of academia, and that's not from. And when you have these people who, what I find a little bit offensive is people who do not have a background in statistics talking about statistics. You need to stop.
I think it's that right now we have access to basically the combined knowledge of all humanity, but we don't have the fucking ability to interpret said fucking information. We just say, holy shit, look at that number. That number proves what I'm saying. Fuck you. You guys are dumb as shit.
Level of abstraction too far for them in terms of separating the emotional or ethical implications. They just can't. When it comes to this issue, are you trying to say basically that most people can't understand this issue simply because of what the issue is, or just on a fundamental, they don't grasp the statistics enough?
No, they can. They're very they're intelligent enough to understand it. Absolutely. The problem is that I think sometimes they're willingly obtuse. Does that make sense?
Well, of course,
yeah. They're doing that because it's not narrative. If they look at it with any kind of nuance.
I don't want people to actually, this is the entire purpose of my channel, is I don't want people to be excluded from information. It's the exact opposite of that. I want people to be very much included from information. My kind of fear is that people who don't have a great deal of understanding of statistics are going to use exclusionary tactics to say, oh, I am this and you don't. Let me tell you how this shit works. That's very disturbing to me. That is very upsetting.
Knowledge is dangerous, right? You look at the numbers and you can pretty much bend it any which way or present it any which way to support your argument. And if you,
sure, you could do that with anything. But that's why I'm trying to educate the entire populace as in my little tiny baby of being like, let me just provide information of how to read statistics, because I don't have any biases, but I don't have any people to like not know how to read statistics. I want people to just know how to read stats. Some of the people who do this,
thing, you sound so depressed about it. Like if somebody takes what you're saying out of context, you can't stop that. But they're just as easy to just as able to Google it and fucking be like, oh, look at this number.
No, exactly though. But it doesn't make me upset. It makes other people upset, because it means that if I teach people how to read descriptive statistics or any type of statistics, it's going to upset the people who don't. Entire career is based on not really understanding statistics, but wanting to just reframe how statistics operate.
Well, fuck them.
Like, no,
Pretty
exactly.
much.
But I think that's the thing, is that it's going to upset people. In terms of what I'm willing to do, I'm going to go up with my statistical analysis into ANOVA-MANOVA's regression analysis. Those are all different things, but like ANOVAs and MANOVAs, those are pretty much this analysis of variance and multiple analysis of variance. And then a regression analysis is a little bit different. But that is all basically in terms of putting things into a prescriptive a little bit, or at least in terms, not prescriptive, more accurately, in terms of putting things into a predictive model. Yo, I can say that like this can predict this. By the way, saying this couldn't predict that doesn't mean that this makes or causes that. Causal is totally different from predictive. It can still be a causal analysis, but it doesn't mean that, like, hey, because you're black, it means you cannot have an IQ of that. Causal analysis works, nor does it how a regression analysis works. It's kind of fucked up that we have to keep describing this shit over and over.
I mean, people that are like all about materialism are going to think what they want anyway, right? Like they're literally going to take something that we've known for fucking 50 some odd years and still interpret it the way they want to.
Well, I mean, like
there's nothing, there's no amount of explaining it like a five.
There's an argument to be made at this point that at what point all of a sudden did the establishment start being corrupt versus what over the last hundreds of years do we have to question as the standard, because it was what was politically convenient for so long that by the time the issue that they contrived it for was over, it's been forgotten why they made those changes.
Yeah.
Like, I think that at a certain point you have to realize that most of human history probably is fake news.
It's true.
You are fake.
Guys, I have to say this though. I'm starting to get a little bit too drunk, and I know the chat can tell it. So, because my speech is slowing down. Unfortunately, we didn't really get to talk about Trump very much.
We did a little. It's kind of hard to elaborate on. He shit talked both sides for being fucked up and violent. Somebody fucking died because both sides are being fucked up and violent, and you should probably stop. And then everybody called him fucking a Nazi supporter somehow.
I mean, that's pretty much long and short of it, yeah.
But like, no. It's unbelievable. This is my whole fucking issue with the goddamn thing in the first place, was that it was like, oh, we hate Trump because he pointed out reality?
Reality doesn't... Facts don't matter, Aiden. Remember that. Facts don't matter anymore. Not today.
Some facts are more factual than other facts.
We are allowed to have the facts, but you're not. Remember, it's illegal for you to get the facts.
If it comes from Anna Kasparian, it's better than your facts.
God damn it. Fuck this shit. Oh, God, fucking... You know what makes me cringe the most, though? Sorry to get off another tangent. I'll make it real quick. I remember in middle school, I was one of the biggest TYT fags around. Oh, my God. I wanted time and beat the shit out of myself. Fuck.
No. Hang on. You're not completely wrong for that shit. Because I remember that stuff as well. I remember being like, oh, hey, they're like, not the normal thing. Because I remember when I was originally voting for not Gary Johnson, who was before that, Ron Paul in 2008. I actually, in the primaries, voted for Dennis Kucinich. Oh, and I saw somebody with a Kucinich for president sticker on their fucking bumper yesterday. It's like, oh my goodness. Not take the right horse on that. But anyway, I was like, oh yeah. I voted for Kucinich first, even though at the time I wasn't even a socialist. It's just like, I liked Kucinich because he seemed honest. And then I discovered Ron Paul. And I was like, oh, Ron Paul is more in line with me politically and whatever. Point in time, I remember, what's his dick? Had Dennis Kucinich and Ron Paul both on. What's his cock?
Chank?
Not Chank. Yeah, had these people on. And it was unbelievable because, like, now you can't... No. It was before. It was like I do remember though that like it was around the same time that you could find these people on the Young Turks. I think that's about when they started. It was around 2008.
Oh, who the fuck was on there with him? Not Dave. It was Dave.
Though. And I remember thinking like, oh, this is so interesting.
Yeah, it was Dave Rubin, wasn't it?
Yeah, Dave Rubin.
Yeah, oh, they're having unique people on here. Isn't this interesting? And then, oh no, they destroyed themselves. They used to actually have some integrity, and they have completely flushed themselves down the shitter.
Like, as cringe as Chank and Anna are, fucking his nephew or whatever the fuck he is there is
Hassan Piker.
Holy shit. That motherfucker is not even in touch with reality.
Piker is such a moron. It started in 2002. Yeah, it's been that long. Jesus. Fuck me.
I'm fucking old.
It makes me feel old as shit. I mean, I wasn't 12 when I started paying attention to Young Turks, but like, I don't think they started to get YouTube, because YouTube didn't start until 2006. Yeah. So it was around 2006, 2007 when I first discovered the Young Turks.
They had a CNN show for a little bit, didn't they?
They probably did.
Yeah.
It was like a temporary segment.
I have no idea how they stay so popular on YouTube.
I think they're buying views.
I have no idea, because like their shit gets downvoted like crazy. And I'm pretty left wing, and I know some crazy left wing people, and they all hate Cenk. They hate Cenk, and they hate Anna more. So I don't understand. Like, if you're that left, you're a left wing Canadian.
Easy.
Like, where the fuck are they coming from? California? Is it all of California watching their videos?
Because they got YouTube in their fucking back pocket. That's why. You see the fucking.
Because they have fake views, dude. They have fake views. They've made that absolutely clear.
You see the fucking CEO of YouTube talking with Cenk? You think they don't have like a little something going on in the back deal? Yeah, Jesus. Right.
No, but you want to watch, if you watch any TYT video where you see poor Cenk try to deal with Anna freaking out about capitalism, and Cenk loves capitalism, obviously, because he's rich as fuck. So he's trying to like not shit talk capitalism while not pissing off Anna. But it's the funniest shit in the world.
Why is it?
I'll tell you this, guys. I'll tell you this though. I've got to go to bed. I'm a little bit too sleepy. It's been going on for 2 hours, and everybody knows I've had a little bit too much to drink. Thank you. No, I do believe in me that I've had too much to drink, because I believe in me.
I believe in you.
Thank you guys. So, all of you guys, Dave, Harrison.
Yes.
Perseus Gold. Specifically, I want to say, if you guys want to have anything that you guys want to plug for a second, Perseus Gold, please go check out his YouTube. Guys, I have a new video. It's 7,000 words long. It might have a musical number at the end, which would be insane.
Awesome.
But maybe very cringy and embarrassing. It depends on how much I'm willing to embarrass myself.
Yeah,
not doing it now.
Do it
There perhaps maybe a musical number at the end of the next video, but it's 7,000 words long, which means it'll probably be another 40-minute or so video. Typically speaking, when I have videos about 7,000 words long, that's about how long they tend to be. Anyway, thank you guys so much for having this kind of like just informational, and it wasn't like rude or rash or anything.
I like to think that was pretty goddamn good.
I mean, we didn't even talk about the content or the topic, which is kind of part of the problem, probably. But
there's just not a lot to say about it. People got stupid.
There's a lot to say about it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Oh no, if we end up here in the last 10 seconds, we're not going to do that though. We're not going to now go into it after like 2.5 fucking hours of trying to go into it. Anyway, are you guys all Canadians?
No, I'm American.
Okay, so so we're only half leaf here.
Half leaf, man.
And unless the other half stars and stripes.
It must be the ratio of that resulting in the shit posting off topic.
Yeah, that's what it is. We just didn't want to get too rude, so we just apologized our way out of it.
There's like literally 100 people dropping by the second on the live stream. So thank you everybody for tuning on the live stream, and thank you guys so much. I'm about to close off the broadcast. I'm gonna go to sleep. Bye-bye.
Wait, real quick.
Hang on, okay.
Tomorrow you're going to be on the Mike and Hatman podcast, right?
Yes, I'll be on Micah.
All right, sweet. Fuck yes. Any of you faggots in the audience, go ahead, tune in tomorrow. It's gonna be fucking sweet.
Okay. I don't know how like actually hype it will be, but okay. Yeah, we'll go. All right, now we're actually closing out. All right, bye-bye, guys.
Yeah.